championship vibes were all over Penn State's two-point win, and certainly again this year. National championship comes into the conversation because both teams come in undefeated and ranked second and fifth in the nation. Now, this series has produced some extraordinary football games. Let's remember some of those and go back to 1979 when the national championship was on the line at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. This game goes into my all-time top five. National championship at stake. Purest drama came at the end. Alabama leading 14-7. Chuck Fusina to Scott Fitzke. Second down. Fitzke knocked out at the 1. Great play by Alabama's Don McNeil. Third and goal for the Nittany Lions. Matsui tries to fly over the top. Stopped by a half yard. The tension builds. The roof rattling on the Superdome. Mike Gooman the call on fourth down. He is hit head-on by Barry Krause. Alabama holds to win the national championship 14-7, a Sugar Bowl victory. And Chuck Fusina and one of Joe Paterno's greatest teams left the stadium denied and stunned. And in 1983 at Beaver Stadium, Penn State leading at one time 24-7. This play, Walter Lewis to Jesse Bendross, made the score 34-28. Lions late in the game. Then came a play that's the most controversial of the series. Tight end Preston Gothard. This catch waved off in the end zone. Lack of possession inbounds. It was a fourth down play. But Penn State was offside, and Alabama got one more chance. The Tide tried to surprise with a Kerry Good run, but the Lions wouldn't buy it. Stopped him cold, and Penn State was the winner, 34-28. '84 in Tuscaloosa. Defense was dominant. A pair of field goals by Van Tiffen, one from 53 yards for a 6-0 Alabama win. '85 again at Penn State. The Nittany Lions out to a 19-10 lead as Matt Kisner passes to tight end Brian Seiberling. 11 yards on third and short. This came after 4 Massimo Manca field goals. It proved to be enough. 19-10 the score at the time. With less than a minute to play, Mike Shula hits tight end Thornton Chandler to make it a 19-17 game. 17 seconds to go. Alabama onside kick, but before Van Tiffen hits the ball, the Tide clearly offside. They recovered the onside kick, but the offside mistake cost them their last hope. Lions won by 2. It's a series of the highest quality in college football. Today's game should be as good as any.
Penn State just didn't qualify.
Joe Paterno's Lions made their first run at a national title in 1968. 11 straight wins over the likes of Navy, Kansas State, bedraggled Syracuse, and befuddled Pitt. Though it wound up number 2 in the AP poll, Penn State was far from a serious challenger to national champ Ohio State. A year later, the winning streak reached 22 games, as Lions like Charlie Pittman and Lydell Mitchell and Franco Harris waltzed past opponents like Ohio University and North Carolina State. Again, they ranked second, and this time, Paterno openly voiced his frustration.
I didn't think in '68 there was any injustice because I thought Ohio State had a great football team. I think in '69 there wasn't any doubt in my mind we didn't get our fair share of it.
They got no share of it, as the President of the United States awarded the title to the winner of the Texas-Arkansas game. College football's highest honor had now become a political pigskin.
I got a telephone call that night from the White House because the phone calls were coming in from Pennsylvania. The governor had called everybody who was really giving it to the president. And I got an offer to come down to Washington with the team, and the president wanted to give me a plaque for the longest winning streak. And I won't tell you what I told him to do with that plaque.
By the time frustration arrived again in 1973, Paterno was already taking steps to combat it. With its first Heisman Trophy winner in the lineup, Penn State had the nation's best record that year, but wound up 5th in the final poll, just behind Alabama. 2 years before, in 1971, Penn State officials and Paul Bear Bryant had begun the correspondence that would lead to a 10-game home-and-home series beginning in 1981, a series that would bring together 2 football programs which had experienced only one previous brief liaison. The 1959 Liberty Bowl had matched Bryant's first Alabama team against one of Rip Ingles' better Penn State groups. a young assistant coach named Paterno had been introduced to the Bear, and the Lions had won the game. Longtime Bryant associate Charlie Thornton recalls there were a lot of good reasons for the football marriage of Deep South and upwardly mobile East.
Obviously, the game was almost certainly going to be on television every year. Number two, the schedule credibility that gave both schools by playing each other. And Paterno wanted to recruit a little bit in the South, and we wanted to recruit a little bit in the East. And it helped both schools nearly every way you can look at it. It was good for both sides.
For the future of Penn State football, that's where we should go. We should have 3 or 4 attractive intersectional games on our schedule.
There would be 2 more meetings before Alabama and Penn State ever played a regular season game. And the second, January 1, 1979, came at a time when Penn State had won 19 games in a row to reach, for the first time in Paterno's tenure, the #1 ranking.
Alabama's goal line stand in that 1979 Sugar Bowl snapped that win streak and denied Paterno's troops their first national title. But Penn State gained credibility from the close game and the beefed-up schedule, so much so that by 1982, even a mid-season loss to the Crimson Tide couldn't prevent the Nittany Lions and their coach from finally winning the big prize. When Penn State beat #1 ranked Georgia in that year's Sugar Bowl, any questions about the program's credibility had long since been answered in regular season games with the likes of Nebraska, Notre Dame, and of course, Alabama.
Did you ever harbor any insecurities privately, wondering as to whether or not your team could go out on a yearly basis and
Jim, I've never been very, I've never lacked confidence. I felt we were pretty good. I've always felt we were. And I go back a long time when we played taking Penn State teams out to Columbus when Ohio State was right on top of the pack and beating them in Columbus several times. And we've always played and felt that we could beat anybody, anytime. Got to play well, obviously. You don't win because you think you're good. You got to play well. Some games we haven't played that well. But I've never ever felt that we should take a back seat to anybody.
There was one early hitch in this series. After his first bout with the 3.5-hour bus ride from Harrisburg to State College, Bryant called Paterno to ask if the Highway Patrol couldn't clear a lane out for the next trip, a request that left Joe temporarily speechless. Of course, the Bear wouldn't have understood coaching in a state where such a request could ever have been denied. It's time now for our regular weekly feature on a noteworthy CFA student-athlete. Here with that is Becky Dixon.
Paul Bryant guiding 323 wins over 25 seasons. When the Bear chose to step down, the whole country wondered who would follow, who would accept an almost impossible challenge. Turned out to be one of his own, Ray Perkins, All-American end at Alabama, leaving a professional head coaching job to come home. And in 4 years, Perkins has succeeded the Bear. The memories of Coach Bryant still deep and precious, but the Alabama football program now clearly belongs to Ray Perkins. Still pacing the Penn State sideline, 61-year-old Joe Paterno, a statesman among his peers, another coach who has won more than 80% of his games over 21 seasons. He has never coached a losing season. And he eagerly awaits matching wits with Ray Perkins today in the stadium carrying Bear Bryant's name. ABC Sports presents from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the 9th meeting between the Nittany Lions of Penn State and the Crimson Tide of Alabama on CFA College Football. This is one of the most precious seats in the state of Alabama today. And it should be one of the memorable ball games in the state of Alabama. The weather was awful last night, rained all night long. Today it's almost mild and comfortable. Temperature you can see, that's in favor of Penn State, I would think, because it's much cooler than Joe Paterno and his people anticipated it might be. It was Coach Wallace Wade who said many, many seasons ago, nobody ever wins a football game, somebody loses it. And that is especially so when teams are well matched. It has become a preachment in college football down through the years. And the two teams about to play today are pretty evenly matched. There are a couple of things that might make a difference along the way. But overall, I think this is an exciting matchup and should produce a very high-quality game. And on that point right now, let's go to our colleague Tim Brandt.
Keith, it is strength against strength. These are two quality football teams. They're fundamentally sound. They don't make very many mistakes. Now, if there is an edge today, it has to go to Alabama because they have a little bit better team speed overall. But there are so many games that we see of this caliber that it comes down to kicking teams. And if that's the case today, then it will also go to Alabama because of their All-American kicker, Van Tiffen. This crowd is fired up today. Everything is exciting. There is an overcast sky. Keith told you about that. The weather today, I don't think there will be a factor.
Now the Tide ready to roll into Bryant-Denny Stadium. They're not exactly rolling in, they're kind of sauntering in, but Penn State now beginning to assemble in their tunnel. And the captain's ambling out into the center of the field. I think both coaches here, Tim, want to keep this thing as low-key as possible until that ball gets in the air.
A lot of times you'll see coaches keep it close to the vest, Keith. In a game like this, they'll wait until the other team can make a couple of mistakes. I don't think that you'll see the teams really come out, fire big, go after the long pass early. They'll stay close and they'll go after each other. You know, this is strength against strength. We're talking about two teams with a lot of power on the inside. They've got speed on the outside. And when you talk about Penn State, you have to talk about the leadership. Let's look at some of those matchups now and what takes place. Quarterback John Schaefer and flanker Eric Hamilton will have to be effective today. The Lions need a balanced attack. Schaefer is completing 55% of his passes. Hamilton averages 17.5 yards per catch. Alabama's pass catch combo is Shula to Bell. Mike Shula has passed for 947 yards, 7 games, 10 touchdowns. Nobody works the clock better. Controls the tempo better than Shula. Bell has been the Tide's leading receiver with 18 catches, big play guy, always gets a first down or a touchdown almost every time he touches the football. Both teams, however, are run-oriented. For Penn State, DJ Dozier is thunder, Blair Thomas is lightning. Thomas had 3 carries, 132 yards last week, but it's Dozier who carries most of the load. All-American back. He's been injured a great deal since his freshman season, but he's healthy today and ready to go. Alabama's running backs are fast and faster. Gene Jelks has been suffering from a sprained ankle. He is okay now, will play. Bobby Humphrey, number 26, coming off a spectacular performance last week against Tennessee. Humphrey ran the ball 27 times for 217 yards. But this figures to be a defensive ball game, and you'll see 2 of the nation's best linebackers. Penn State, Shane Conlon. He is a dominant outside linebacker, maybe underrated, certainly one of the best ever at Penn State. Alabama's Cornelius Bennett. He is an impact player, perhaps the best defensive player in the country. Great speed and thrives on making big plays, like this sack. Bennett always tries to make a forced play early in the game.
Well, yes, you know, that's the type of player I am, you know, to go out and try to make the first big play of the game, and like I said, to get the rest of the guys going and hopefully get the crowd into the game.
As you look at the series record between the two teams, what you had was a standoff. Neither one wanted to come out, so they came out together and appreciated the roar of the crowd.
CFA College Football. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought.
We're ready to go with the ball game now. We've got a little breakdown here in our communication system, but Penn State won the toss. They elect to kick off. Alabama will receive. And this game is about to go with Bobby Humphrey deep at the goal line for Alabama, ready to bring it back. The kick is in the air. It is short, taken by Chester Braggs. Braggs turns upfield, gets to the outside, and gets to the 28-yard line, maybe the 29 before he is brought down. Alabama's offensive backs and receivers, Shula, Bell, Wright, Humphrey, and number 17, Greg Richardson, is a senior, 5'9", 165 out of Mobile. He is a big game player. Time and again, we have seen this young man emerge at 5'9" to be a giant in big ball games, and I won't be surprised to see him be a key figure today. The ball is just over the 28 now for Alabama. They come up with Shula. They've got Bo Wright and Bobby Humphrey lined up behind him, and they send Bo Wright into the middle, and he finds some daylight. He's out to about the 35-yard line. Now up front, Johnson is 270, Rose 270, Wes Neighbors 250, Bill Condon 250, Joe King 290, Howard Cross, the tight end, 6'5" and 225. Double tight end alignment now for Alabama. On second down, they need about 5. Ball comes back to Humphrey, who had the 217 yards last week at Tennessee, and he's got a first down. The ball is at the 45-yard line of Alabama before Ray Isom brings him down, number 22 for Penn State. The defensive alignment for Penn State, as you see, they line up at a basic 3-4, but they move those linebackers around so much it's almost a 5-man front. And a big guy in the middle, in fact, 2 big guys, I think, are going to be very important, and one of them got wiped out on that play. Mike Russo, the nose tackle, and Bob White, the defensive tackle. And White's the guy that plays most of the time on the defensive left side, trying to make Alabama play left-handed. But right now, Alabama is not buying any left-handed stuff. They're just hammering at him right up the gut.
Keith, Alabama came into the ball game knowing they wanted to pick up a lot of yardage on first down, bring up second and short, third and short. That's the way to get the first downs, especially against the Penn State. They were not able to do that last year when they lost to Penn State. They want to pick up 4 or 5 yards a carry here early on.
Into the middle goes Bo Wright, fumbles the ball away, and a Penn State man falls on it at the Lions' 44-yard line. Might have been Duffy Cobbs. It was Duffy, the left cornerback. Wright was again caught in the second effort where you keep your legs driving and oftentimes you turn it loose, and that's exactly what happened there.
Alabama gets good blocking up front, but you'll see Wright, the ball's loose right there, and then he runs and gets hit from behind and just gets knocked out. Now, Penn State is one of the best in the nation at this. They're plus 12 in the giveaway takeaway. They average 3 turnover recoveries a ball game.
And they come out very quickly with John Schaefer at quarterback, DJ Dozier, and Big Steve Smith in the backfield. And it's faked twice. And Schaefer's pass is away. They go long ball on the opening play of the game, and it doesn't work down the sideline. Schaefer had some pressure, and Cornelius Bennett climbed his wagon just as he delivered the ball.
Bennett wants to make that big play early. He told us yesterday that's his style. He wants to get the crowd into it, get his players fired up, and he wants to at least put their heads on swivels and start looking for him early in the ball game. Good pressure that time. But you know, you're the one that said coming out to the ball game this morning, you thought Penn State would try to go up top and go big early. They did.
He had the pressure from Bennett, spoiled the play. He had a possibility of hooking up on that one with Roundtree. But right now, it is second down and 10 from the 44-yard line. Schaefer hands the ball to Smith. And Steve Smith, a 232-pounder out of Clinton, Maryland, gets a couple of yards out of that, and that'll do it. Penn State, in the 5 of their first 6 possessions, have scored this season. So 5 out of 6 times when they first had their hands on the ball, this group of people have put it in the end zone, and I think Smith will be a principal man before the day is done, mainly because he's a great blocker, but he'll fool you. He's quicker than you think he is, and I've seen him have some big ball games.
He's also strong, Keith. They've worked all week in practice, wrapping arms and aiming for the big fullback Smith.
Back goes Schaefer to throw. Coates is in the ball game. Thrown underneath to DJ Dozier. Dozier is caught by number 56 and thrown to the ground. That's Greg Gilbert, an inside linebacker. And there'll be very little on that play as Penn State's kicking team comes out now with John Bruno to do the punting. And Greg Richardson will go back to receive the punt. Bruno's averaging in his career about 42 yards. This year, just under 42. But John, when he hits it right, can just knock it into the clouds.
You can make it 5 out of 7 now. They didn't score on their first possession here today. One thing we ought to mention right away, you mentioned the rain, but the field is slick, and you can see several times already where their feet have gone out from under them.
Spinning spiral, Richardson accepts it at the 12-yard line. Gets away from 1, 2, 3, up the sideline. He broke a big one against Notre Dame, remember? And he hauls that football back outside the 35 to the 36, where Brian Chismar, a freshman, brings him down. He got a big block back there to shake him loose. It's a 38-yard punt and a 24-yard return, and like I told you, this man is a big game player.
Well, they set up the wall for him nicely. You can see the fine blocks he had. Now, he has 9.3 speed in the 100. He was 6th in the SEC in the 100 and 200 meters. He skipped spring practice for track, and what happened? He got faster.
With the Hayes modem.
With last week's win over Syracuse, Penn State ensured its 48th consecutive non-losing season, an NCAA record.
11:46 to go in the first quarter. The coaches have seen their teams handle the football. They've seen their teams punt the football, and Alabama has a turnover. And the Tide's turnover came when they were moving the ball. So let's see what happens in this possession now at the 36-yard line, first down for Alabama. Tied in alignment, you've got a Howard Cross and Angelo Stafford both on the field. Stafford, remember, caught a touchdown pass last week. They go to the fullback, Bo Wright. It figures it goes to Wright because Wright was the man that coughed it up, so that's a confidence builder. And now they'll go probably the other way because they had some success running right up the middle in the first possession and had big success cutting Bobby Humphrey back off the right side.
Keith, I could sit here and say that the Penn State defense is just trying to get comfortable now. It's adjusting, but that's not the case. Alabama's just blowing them off the line of scrimmage right now.
It's second down and about 5. Ball comes back to Humphrey, the tailback, shakes a man. He's the strongest 185-pound. Well, actually, Ray Perkins told me yesterday he weighs more than that now. He weighs about 192. But you don't arm tackle. He shook a man that time and picked up what appears to be an Alabama first down, and it is.
Trey Bowers having a few words with them down there, and I would suspect there'd be a lot of talking today.
First down for the Tide. The ball at their own 48-yard line. Ball goes to Humphrey into the middle, and this time he gets the greeting right about the line of scrimmage by Mike Russo and Tim Johnson. Yesterday, Tim was visiting with the Tide players, talked to Mike Shula about Penn State's defense.
I think, first of all, they have they're strong and physical, and they love to get you in second and third and long situations and try to stuff you on first down. And I think they're averaging giving up two yards a carry, especially on the early downs. What we want to do is try to stay away from that and get positive yards on first down and put us in the second and shorts, and which gives us a better chance to pick up first downs.
That's Humphrey, and he's got daylight and knocked down inside the Penn State 30 at the 29. Spread them out. Big, strong football team like Penn State, you got to spread them out, and Alabama's doing it so far.
He is truly a gifted athlete, 6'1", 180 pounds. We told you about the week he had last week. Humphrey has sprinter speed, and last year became the first freshman ever at Alabama to go over 100 yards rushing 2 consecutive games. That's as a freshman, one of the best football programs in the nation.
Right, Humphrey behind Shula. Al Bell goes in motion. This is Bo Wright up the middle. A half a step, maybe, from scoring. Somebody had him by the hind leg and couldn't shake him loose. Otherwise, he's in the end zone.
And you mentioned that they have spread out the defense. They have done that, but this time they put a little new wrinkle into it. They showed the action going to the right side, then came back on a little counter. It was almost like a comeback against the grain, and Penn State was overreacting. They almost ran themselves out of the play.
Give you a measure of the blocking up front, Tim. Bo Wright now 4 carries. He's done 5, 6, 5, and 5. It's a lot of daylight up the middle. This is Humphrey. He goes into the middle, and you can hear the whacking, cracking sound as Trey Bauer nailed him right on the numbers. Trey, a senior from Paramus, New Jersey. Number 35.
That was without a doubt the best defensive play that Penn State has had this afternoon. They got to the football. They defeated the lineman in front of them. They made the contact, and they made it very, very solid.
It's third down and just about 4 yards for Alabama. Ball is at the Penn State 23. Stay with the ground game. Give it to Humphrey on a sweep. He will not get there. And it'll bring up fourth down and bring in Van Tiffin and company. Van Tiffin right now, if he is successful on this place kick, will tie the NCAA consecutive. Will he not?
Well, that's on extra points, though,
Well,
Keith.
that's extra points. That's right.
But he is without a doubt.
Owns the Alabama book record in field goals, and he has 7 of the longest field goals in Alabama football history. A 53-yarder in this very stadium a year ago, one of the 2 he kicked to beat him. This is a 40-yard effort. Larry Abney will hold. Crowd says it's good, and so do the men in the striped shirts. So with 8:07 to go in the first quarter, Alabama gets to the lead 3-0. Here it's a 3-0 ball game. Time remaining 8:07 first quarter. No rain so far in the afternoon, though it is still cloudy and gray, and the lights are on. Alabama will kick off, and Tiffin from the 35. The deep people are Jim Coates and Blair Thomas. Thomas is the speedster for Penn State. And Tiffin hangs it up there high. And right on the sidelines, it is caught by Jim Coates. And Jimmy from Niles, Ohio, brings the ball back up to about the 22-yard line. The offensive front for Penn State, let's set them for you. It's Sickler 260, Wisniewski 245, Radisic the center 260, Morgan 270, and Chris Conlon at tackle 280 with Brian Seiberling, the big 6'7" tight end, number 91. He's the fellow who caught the touchdown pass last year. That was the margin of victory for Penn State.
And I suspect he'll play a major part in this ball game here today.
All right, it's first down for Penn State. Schaefer hands it to the up man, Smith, and he bounces outside and drags the tackler with him up to about the 29-yard line before they wrestle him down. The tackler being the strong safety, Ricky Thomas, who has a penchant for coming up and playing right along the line of scrimmage.
But they use him so well, Keith. They'll move him up. They will move him into the line of scrimmage. They'll play him outside. They'll bring him on blitzes and stunts. Here it is again. Now, here comes Smith. And Smith sees that it's all clogged up inside. So he cuts it outside. And Thomas reads that and comes up, runs the board as quickly as anybody in the business. He was the leading tackler at Alabama the first 6 games.
That gain was good for about 6 yards to Steve Smith, and Schaefer hands the ball to D.J. Dozier. And Dozier coming outside, runs into number 55, Derek Thomas. And the 220-pound sophomore out of Miami drags him out of bounds. They stop him just short of, well, let's see where they put it. No, they put it over the 30 to the 31. They've got to go close to the 33 for their first down. Dozier is another one of those big, strong backs that if he sees nothing inside, he'll bounce outside, and he's got the speed to hurt you outside.
You know, he went over 1,000 yards as a freshman. He's been banged up and injured ever since then. He's had hamstring problems, but he's healthier now than he's been since he was a freshman.
Third down and about 3. And Smith this time is stonewalled short of the line of scrimmage. Jarvis was, well, the whole defensive front was there. Slaughter, Thomas, Jarvis, and the inside backers, Davis and Gilbert filled. Bennett and Rockwell closed the outside door, and he stopped.
We said from the get-go it was power against power, but speed was the edge that Alabama had, and they're beating them off the football.
They got 10 red shirts up on the line. Now they peel off as Bruno hits the punt to Richardson at the 31. Greg has it. And they get him at the 32. That's a 34-yard punt by Bruno. This time, they hold Richardson to a 2-yard return at 6:39 to go in the first quarter.
Who says you can't have old world taste and a new world waste? Old world aging and the new world's youthful spirit. Europe's finest hops in America's finest light beer. Michelob Light, old world quality from Anheuser-Busch. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can have it all.
Here's your burger and...
Sometimes brakes can give you a gentle hint that they need a little work.
Oops.
Take it to Midas.
Over 4 million people have trusted their brakes to Midas. Good price, good guarantee. We won't break you.
Whoops.
Take it to Midas.
Whoops, huh?
Take it to someone you trust.
It's an amazing thing, but all the years that we have covered Alabama Crimson Tide football from the Southeastern Conference, this is the first game I've ever done from here, the first national telecast ever from Tuscaloosa. Most of them have been from Birmingham as home games for Alabama. But we're in Tuscaloosa today, and the Tide leads 3-0. And Penn State sets the defensive unit now as the pitch comes back to Bobby Humphrey, and Humphrey is hit short of the line of scrimmage by Pete Giftopoulos. And Pete, the junior out of Hamilton, Ontario, had enough on him to slow him down, and he goes down for about a yard pickup. And number 55, Tim Johnson, is down on the field and hurt for Penn State. Tim Johnson, a senior tackle, plays the defensive right side out of Sarasota. And he's holding on to a leg, and to lose Big Tim would be a severe blow to Joe Paterno's ball club. He's 6'2", 255, and one of those seniors that have made this Penn State team such a strong team in '86.
You know, again, we go back to AstroTurf or artificial surface. You know, I don't like it. I make that fact known, and I think that it's very difficult to play on it. It's so hard on the legs, and because it is sticky, because your legs do catch, because you have to accentuate your steps, consequently your feet a lot of times don't come off the carpet. You take a blow on the leg, and the knee, of course, being the weakest joint on the strongest limb on the body.
Next Monday night here on ABC, the NFL Monday Night Football presentation is a traditional out of the NFC East. The Washington Redskins 6-1 against the Giants 5-2. It'll be played in East Rutherford, and you'll see it at 9 Eastern time here on ABC. Well, Tim Johnson getting up now and is going to walk gingerly off the field, and let's hope the big guy's going to be all right. You hate to see a player who has done so well in his career get dinged up in his senior season. You can see he wears the knee braces, but you can still get twisted around down on that rug.
Top of the screen, right in the middle, 55. You'll see him coming across here. He does wear the protective knee braces. You see him at the very top of the screen right there. Here comes the hit. The leg gets caught underneath. Hate to see it.
Let's hope he'll be all right. Now it's Alabama back to the ball. 2nd down and 9 from their 37-yard line, and into the middle goes Bo Wright. And there isn't much there for him as he wiggles his way through the crowd to about the 41. The officials today, mixed crew, SEC and Middle Atlantic Independence Association. Mac Gentry, Al Granning, referee and side judge. Umpire is Butch Lambert, as you see. Butch, a veteran down this part of the country. Mac Warney, George Shuford, Charlie Horton, Robert Caldwell, and Tommy McElroy. It is 3rd down and 6 for Alabama. Ball at their own 41. They lead 3-0, and Shula back for his first pass. Swings it out to Humphrey. He's got a convoy in front of him. And pops on through, and will have a first down for Alabama up around the 48-yard line. His convoy broke down, but he saw just enough daylight, and with his great leg strength, plowed right in between two Penn Staters and got his first down.
Alabama showed the strength to the wide side of the field. They put the wide out and the tight end up top, and then they came back on the short screen, seeing that Penn State was in a zone defense, and screened to the short side. And once you get 1 or 2 blockers on the short side, then you're playing a numbers game.
Bell and Richardson, the wide people. You see Bell going to the top of your picture and Richardson coming to the bottom. And it's first down at the 48. Shula back on first down. Gets some pressure. Loses the football. And an Alabama man coming back gets it and keeps it for the Tide. So Shula getting some pressure from number 53, Don Graham, an outside linebacker, knocks the ball loose. It's Hoss Johnson that recovers it for Alabama.
Well, you've got to believe Ray Perkins is concerned. His team is moving the ball. They're effective offensively, but they fumbled the ball early, and now here again, they almost lost it again. Shula just tried to reverse pivot to get out of the pocket. Ball, you see the ball was stripped loose. Boy, Hoss Johnson really got back there in a hurry. Good hustle on his part. 13-yard loss.
On 2nd down, that little shovel pass ahead to Bo Wright. Wright keeps his balance and dives ahead to about the 45. And a penalty flag, I think, was thrown. Looked like some yellow came out. Duffy Cobbs will get credit for the tackle.
Yeah, I believe they're going to call spearing. You can't use your helmet as a weapon. As soon as he hit the ground, he came forth, and he took a pretty good lick with the helmet.
Here's Mac Gentry. You got a clip on Alabama.
Well, I didn't see it. He dropped the flag right there where he got speared. watch this. See Humphrey at the bottom of your screen?
Well, I think
he didn't make contact. He didn't make contact. Now here comes the spear. He's down right now. And he used the head.
Yeah.
Now comes the personal foul.
Foul is on Ray Isom. There's no question. Ray put his helmet on him, and Mac Gentry's now changed the call, indicating personal foul against Penn State. Now, whether that means offsetting fouls, I'm not sure.
I'll tell you why I knew that, Keith, because I was perhaps the most penalized man in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
All right, he's marked off the penalty against Alabama, clipping. Right?
Offense.
Now, what about the personal foul call?
Now they'll go back the other way.
Why is he going through the exercise of 2 15-yarders? Depends on the point of the foul, I guess. Personal foul called against Penn State. Dead ball foul, wouldn't it be?
Dead ball.
Yep.
Personal foul.
There you go.
Defense. Second down. Second down.
I saw the spearing, though. I knew that was a personal foul.
Well, he called second down, but personal foul carries first down.
Well, they've marked it now. They've marked it now.
And they flipped the marker back over and made it first down from the 44-yard line. Shula back, look out for Bell. Shula under pressure, has no chance to get the ball to him. He had him too. And he's knocked down on the 40 as Tim Johnson is back into the game. And he made that play. So Big Tim's all right. Alabama's got to go to the Penn State 46 for its first down. They're handling the ball at their own 40. Second down and 14. Bell again in motion. Ball pitched to Humphrey. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by penetrating number 67, Mike Russo, the nose tackle. Now that's twice in the game that Russo has won the fight with Wes Neighbors in the middle and made penetration.
Except that time, Keith, it looked like they were in a slant defense. In other words, he's shooting the gap. He's not going one-on-one with Neighbors. He's trying to get in that gap and cut off the run or the flow to that direction. His job on that is really just to cause a pileup, just to slow things up until pursuit gets there, and he did a tremendous job.
Baylor has come back to lead TCU after trailing 17-7. Ball game in the Southwest Conference. Third down and close to 15 now as Shula drops the pass. White puts a little pressure on him. Shula unloads it for Richardson, double coverage, and it is incomplete. And Greg Richardson had early on space between him and the defenders. The ball hung up, and he had to wait for it.
He could have kept that space, too, but he outran the strength of Shula's arm. Shula waited a little bit for him to clear and come open, and when he did, he just couldn't get out there that far.
Marcus Henderson and Eddie Johnson back covering, and now in comes Chris Moore. The punt for Alabama, averaging just under 42 yards per kick, and Jim Coates goes deep.
Penn State.
No pressure. Kick is away to Coates at the 19. Got a wall on the right side. It's back up to about the 35, maybe the 36. It is a 42-yard punt and about a 15 to 17-yard return. There's a penalty flag across the way, back in the neighborhood where the ball was kicked from.
An outstanding tackle, too, on special teams by a youngster by the name of Lydell Mitchell, but he's playing for Alabama. Lydell Mitchell, of course, one of the outstanding running backs of all time at Penn State.
This Lydell Mitchell was the one who recovered the onside kick a year ago up at Penn State that gave Alabama a chance to win, except they were offside on the onside kick. And the foul here is thrown against Penn State. That's Cornelius Bennett talking to the referee, Mac Gentry, with 2 minutes and 13 seconds to play in the first quarter.
A lot of people don't remember when Lydell Mitchell, the running back at Penn State, was there. His blocking back, and used most of the time as a blocking back, was Franco Harris.
Both had brilliant professional careers.
They sure did. I was a little bit angry that I wasn't invited to the Penn State 100th birthday party. I helped make some of those guys All-Americans.
Got the scars to prove it, huh?
Sure do.
They give him a 17-yard return. Now they're trying to sort it out and make the right call here as to what Alabama wants to do with it.
Illegal use of the hand. kicking team. It's from a previous spot. It's been declined. It's declined. First down.
Holding against Penn State. Declined.
So the football is going to be put down just across the Penn State 35, where the Lions will have it first down. They're getting better and better and better every week. They had a staggering start. Colorado State jumped them out of the blocks, but they've been improving steadily. They've been known to whip some folks out in Boulder. Penn State now will come to the attack just over the 35. Third possession. They've had 3 downs and a punt in the first 2. Schaefer is back to throw. John drops it off to DJ Dozier. 2 blockers in front of him. Gets a first down. Big gain for DJ as he goes to the Alabama 41. And that's the first Penn State first down of the ball game. Freddie Robinson, the tackle.
The play is well set up, Keith. That's why it's successful. This is a very basic defense by Alabama. They're in a zone defense. You'll see the linebackers at the top of the screen. They read pass. Now they drop back into their hook areas. Now here goes the screen. It's been set up. He took his time. The blockers had a chance to get over there and lead the way. And Dozier now is off to the races, comes down that right sideline. Now it gives Penn State for the first time good field position.
Little mix-up in the backfield. Schaefer late getting the ball to Smith. Alabama penetration was quick. Kurt Jarvis was right there with the handoff. And there's a loss on the play. Alabama defense. Jarvis, the big man inside, number 95, involved in that play. Freddie Robinson, who made the tackle from that cornerback position. Those two had big games last week. Freddie had a couple of pass interceptions. And the way Penn State lines up, he may have to cover some of that burner speed. Right now, it's Darrell Giles sitting out there in the wide receiver position for Penn State. Second down and 12. Pass by Schaefer. He is high and pulled in by Eric Hamilton, the senior out of Cleveland, Ohio. So Hamilton goes high in the air to pull it down at the Alabama 29-yard line, and the Lions have a first down as we pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Alabama leading 3-0. 1:10 to go. First quarter. Penn State's first threat of the ball game. First down at the Tide 29. Both teams undefeated. Bama second in the nation. Penn State fifth in the nation. Hamilton in motion. Gives the ball to DJ Dozier. Runs away from the backside pursuit. But he is turned and brought down by Randy Rockwell, who plays an outside linebacker position at 200 pounds.
Rockwell came quickly. Now, when you react that quickly, that means you're reading through a player and somebody tipped it. His key in the backfield didn't give him a very good picture or didn't carry out a fake because he came and that run support was there at the line of scrimmage almost. He was up in a hurry.
Big day today for DJ, and he's going to have a run at Lydell Mitchell, number 2. Kurt Warner, of course, the all-time rusher for Penn State. Second down, 6. Schaefer gives to Dozier. Looks in the middle and finds enough daylight, and he should be far enough along to have a first down. It looks like they give him the 19, and that'll be sufficient before Greg Gilbert brings him down. 13-12 now, and that could have been the last play of the first quarter, but now the referee, Mac Gentry, stops the clock to bring the chains on to check the first down.
I love to watch Dozier walk back to the huddle like Jimmy Brown used to. Just takes his time. You know, he can be clocked with a stopwatch going forward, an hourglass when he's walking back to the huddle.
Got to save that energy.
Well, it also not only conserves energy, but he can recover from the hit, get mentally ready for the next play.
So the Lions now manifesting a serious threat in the closing seconds of the first quarter. Bob Roscoe is into the ball game at tight end now for Penn State, and the quarter is over. So after the first 15 minutes in Tuscaloosa, Alabama leads Penn State 3-0, but the Nittany Lions are threatening. 60,210 at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Penn State trailing Alabama 3-0 with the football first down at the Tide 19. Lions' first threat of the ball game. John Schaefer gives the ball to DJ Dozier, shoots it up the middle, touchdown! Big hole, right side of center. Dozier goes whistling into the end zone, and the Lions jump to the lead on the first play of the second quarter.
He is explosive. He gets up in this hole, and it's a good hole. The offensive line fired off the football. You can see him carrying out their blocks. Now Dozier just cuts back against the grain and carries it in. 6 touchdowns coming into this ball game, 432 yards. He says he's healthy, he's ready. He's been averaging 19 carries a game. He said today he feels like he could go 30.
Matt Kisner in to hold the ball for Massimo Manca, and he knocks it right on through, and Penn State is out to a 7-3 lead.
Here's the block, 56, Radisic on Kurt Jarvis. He rides him right out of the hole. Now look, he's gone. Dozier's already up to the 10-yard line by the time he turns his back. Look at the center of your screen right there, just riding him out. It's a ride block. The rest are cutoff blocks to the left. Now Dozier makes a fine cut here, and now he's into the secondary and he's into the end zone. His given name, William Henry Dozier, son of Deke, Deke Jr., DJ.
Rattle around the country, wouldn't it? DJ Dozier now getting some attention after his 19-yard touchdown run to give Penn State a 7-3 lead. And the Lions now will kick off with Humphrey, the deep man, return for Alabama. Manca is a high hanger and taken at the 2 by Humphrey. Got a little seam, got him up across the 25, near the 30 before he is brought down. And now let's see what Alabama's offense can do. They moved the ball around pretty well early on, but Penn State has the lead. Al Trotwick back from Hawaii with us again in Tuscaloosa. Let's join him.
Keith, I'm appropriately attired for handling football's newest trophy. Let me show you what it's all about. It's inside here. It's from Tiffany & Company, and you need kid gloves to handle it. It's worth about $40,000. We'll be back in a second.
As Mike Shula sets him up with Jelks and Allen now in the backfield behind him. Gene Jelks, the tailback, give it to Doug Allen, the fullback, and Allen's up across the 35, and let's finish the trophy story.
All right, now these gentlemen will apply the finishing touch to this over here, which is the UPI Coaches Trophy honoring the National Football Champion, set up by the late Edward Garretts in Florida. A full non-athletic scholarship will be awarded to the school that is awarded the UPI Coaches National Championship, and they will get this trophy. It's a beauty. And, of course, both of the teams on the field today feel they have a legitimate claim, at least right now. Back to you.
Thank you, Al. You need a special cabinet for a safe for that thing. This is Gene Jelks, 170-pound speedster, and he turns it upfield and picks up the first down for Alabama, where Ray Isom brings him down. First quarter stats look like this.
Actually, Penn State came back quite nicely offensively and evened things up. You don't see any outstanding statistic in the entire thing other than the big turnover. And, of course, that stopped an effective drive that Alabama had going. And then Mike Shula, of course, has been sacked twice.
From the 44, first down for Alabama. Bring Bell back toward the ball, give it to Jelks. Jelks looking over the right side, caught at the 45 and thrown down. And caught by Keith Karpinski, a junior from Hamtramck, Michigan.
Look at those numbers on Jelks. Averages 7 yards a carry. You know, he's had that sprained ankle. He injured it, sat out a couple of games, then injured it in practice, came back, played yet last week against Tennessee, injured it there, has it wrapped, but even a step slower. He's still 2 steps faster than most people on the field.
Call it second down at about 8. From the 46, Shula back to throw it. Incomplete. Off the hands of Angelo Stafford. He had his hands on it twice. Almost pulled it in. Now here's why he went to Stafford. Angelo is 6'5", 195, and pretty quick for a tight end. The man defending the free safety was Ray Isom. He's only 5'9". So they're trying to get the mismatch in size and almost got away with it.
It's also an effective play, Keith, for Alabama because they don't go to the tight end that often. And anytime they see a right situation where they get a mismatch like that, they figure people won't be looking for the tight end, and they try to get it to him.
And it's third down and 8. Protection's a little better this time, and Shula throws a bullet to Greg Richardson. Penn State's trying to wave it off, and they are calling it an incomplete forward pass.
Penn State is applying a lot of pressure to Shula, and it's throwing him off. He's not setting properly. He's not planting that back foot. starting to get a little nervous feet back there, happy feet. You can't throw effectively that way. That was his best pass of the day, but it was dropped.
On 4th down, Chris Moore is in for his second punt. His first one good for 42 yards, and Ray Isom goes back to return it now for the Nittany Lions. Ray standing back just outside his 10. High twisting spiral forces Isom into a fair catch call as he comes up to about the 18-yard line, and there Penn State will have the ball. It was a 38-yard punt and no return at 12:56 to go in the first half, of the Lions leading 7-3.
It's been a long day, Walter. But I know you still got something left. Yeah, you've got energy from 100% whole wheat. Wheaties energy. Hey there, Walter, turn it on. Wheaties keeps you keeping on. Fruit is all that good whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Introducing the new Nissan Maxima, the only sedan in the world with A-Class luxury and Z-Class performance. With the comfort of body-hugging sports seats, power windows and sunroof, 3-way adjustable shocks, and the performance of 0 to 55 in 7.5 seconds. The new Nissan Maxima SE, from A to Z in a class by itself. The luxury and performance is Maxima. The name is Nissan.
We're the tailgate troubadours. We love it when Penn State scores. Hello to everyone. We are happy when we play fraternal football every day. We are Nittany Lions because we play fraternal's way. Penn State's #1 today. Nittany Lions are we. We're the Lions with the biggest roar in town.
Well, the Penn State band didn't make the trip. Troubadours didn't make the trip, but we have over the years had so much fun with the tailgate Troubadours at State College, and Penn State plays at home. We thought you ought to see them one more time. It's fun to remember them. They are really a lot of fun. It is now Penn State's football. First down at their own 18-yard line, and give the ball to Tim Manoa. Manoa had a start last week at fullback and had a big ball game, a 225-pound senior who calls Pittsburgh home. He's in the backfield right now with DJ Dozier.
Fullbacks for Penn State are interchangeable, Keith. Steve Smith, of course, he's the inside runner. Big, strong guy, gave Alabama fits last year, 232 pounds. Then Tim Manoa comes in. He's 227, not much smaller, but he's a breakaway fullback. Hard to bring down. He's had a 57-yard touchdown already.
From the 21, second down, short 7. John Schaefer back to throw. They are handling Cornelius Bennett over there right now. DJ Dozier making the catch, trying to turn back upfield for the first down, is nailed down by Chris Gould.
The Alabama coaches say this is one of the most simple game plans they've ever had to put together because they're staying basic. They're just running to the football. Cornelius Bennett coming again from the outside. His job, put pressure on the passer, make him hurry. They're bringing 2 guys now. See, they put the fullback on him. They're going to try to pick him up anytime he comes from the outside, get at least 2 guys on him. They want that up back, the blocking back, to take him and ride him out.
Third down, 2.5 from the 25 of Penn State. Give it to Dozier, and he's got the first down by a yard as he reaches the 29-yard line. Greg Gilbert makes the hit on him. Right now, the Penn State muscle working for him.
Dozier comes up limping a little bit. He's going to come out.
That puts Blair Thomas into the ball game. 5'10", 190 sophomore. Thomas with 4.38 speed. So you've got a little more pure speed out there, but you don't have the wisdom. And going deep with it for Roundtree. Schaefer throws it too high. Roundtree, number 6, out of Aiken, South Carolina, defended by Ricky Thomas.
Boy, Thomas almost picked it off, too. Came from that safety spot, read it all the way. He had the deep third, and he got over there and almost made the interception. But again, there was good pressure by the Alabama defense. They're running to the football well. Schaefer threw the ball fairly well.
Second down and 10 from the Penn State 29 for the Lions. They lead 7-3 at 11:45 to go in the first half. Little quick pop here, thrown quickly to Eric Hamilton, his second catch of the day. Penalty flag on the field. He's got yardage for a first down, but let's check the flag.
Kurt Jarvis came up in a hurry, ran over to the official and said, "Hey, they're holding me."
Never hurts to lobby.
And he was effective. Jarvis is really competitive. He won't allow a guy to beat him all day long. He starts talking to him.
Look at what Pitt's doing in the Navy. Wow.
Mike Godfrey's a coach. He's got Conjemi playing better every week.
Holding! Offense! Second down!
The football comes back to the 19-yard line, where it is second down and 20 now for the Nittany Lions. That Pitt team is sitting down the road for Penn State as well as Miami. Pitches back to Thomas. Turns it on up the middle, and he had some daylight. Reaches the 27-yard line where Derek Thomas makes the hit on him. So it'll be third down and about 12 for Penn State.
Cliff Thomas goes out of the ball game. Derek Thomas stays in.
Schaefer, run out of the pocket, caught from behind. Lucky he kept the ball there because Derek Thomas and Randy Rockwell were both jumping his bones, and one of them had a hold of the arm holding the ball, but he was able to put it away and save it. So that brings in the kicker, John Bruno. And Bruno's two punts today, 38 and 34 yards, and Greg Richardson is deep back at the Alabama 30. Alabama was a man short. Now they've got 11 on the field. Greg Richardson back to the 27. And very good coverage downfield for Penn State. 44-yard punt, 6-yard return at 9:56 to go in the first half. And the Nittany Lions are sitting on a 7-3 lead over the Tide.
There's a tendency in business.
In that ball game. Here it's 7-3, Penn State. Alabama's first 12 rushes produced 54 yards for them, but the last 6 times the ball's been carried on the ground, it was -2. Humphrey is back in at tailback now behind Doug Allen. And Shula trips coming off the snap, dumps it off. Did I see a flag? No, I guess not. That's Bobby Humphrey taking the ball on the sidelines and turning it back inside and picking up a first down. I thought for a moment a flag had been thrown over on the sidelines, but not so, and it's a first down for Alabama.
Again, tempers flare, but again, watch this pressure now that Penn State puts on Shula. Now, you mentioned they haven't been able to run the ball, so now they're forced to pass. The pressure comes from the inside by Bob White. They get it out to Humphrey. Now, watch Humphrey. Does this on his own before he ever picks up a blocker. Now, Richardson's out in front of him, and then he comes over, and Stafford's in front of him. And there's a penalty, isn't there?
Well, there was a penalty, yeah. I thought I saw that flag come up, but this is dead ball, personal foul, because it came after the play is over, and it's against Penn State. So somebody teed off on somebody, and it's a big penalty all the way down to the Lions 31.
Personal foul, defense, first down.
Well, we saw him pushing and shoving at the end of the play, and they went ahead and called it. A lot of talking going on down on the field. I'll tell you, if you can talk and talk effectively, you can get a guy's head out of the ball game. Make him angry, and he breaks down his concentration. That's what you want.
But that kind of a thing drives Joe crazy.
And Ray Perkins.
All right, it's first down at the 31-yard line of Penn State for Alabama. And Shula pitches to Humphrey. And Bobby cuts it back. How he found daylight, I don't know. And he's still going all the way down to the 12-yard line. And another penalty flag. This one, I think, is against Alabama. It's thrown back up where the ball was snapped. Holding against the Tide at 9:20 to go in the first half, and both teams now make big mistakes.
Well, I tell you, he's a tough kid, 190 pounds. He gained 7,000 yards as a high school player.
Penn State gets dinged with a personal foul.
Holding offense.
Alabama loses a big play. They would have had the ball first down at the Penn State 12. Instead, the ball comes back to the Penn State 41. It's first down and 20. Gene Jelks is in the backfield. Actually, outside right now in this alignment is a wide receiver. And Shula's passes away for Al Bell, and he had him in between the seams. He finally chose to go to Bell, and he was available, but Shula missed him.
Mike's really upset with himself, too. Look, he walked all the way back to the 40-yard line. He's talking to himself way behind the huddle. He knows he had him in the seam. He knows he was open. Penn State was in a loose zone. He sent him on a short post pattern, and there wasn't a player within 5 yards of him. Mike still hasn't gotten near the huddle yet. Now he looks over to get a play, but here he is again. It's a three-step drop, and look at this. He is wide open. He just didn't get the football to Albert Bell.
Second down and 20 from the 41 of Penn State. This one is picked off by Eddie Johnson, and Penn State has the football at their own 23-yard line. Pass intended for Greg Richardson, a bad series for Alabama. They had the ball all the way down on the 12, and just mistake after mistake, and bingo, they turned it over.
And we're seeing something very unusual. Mike Shula's lost his composure. He let the pass bother him a little bit. Comes back now and throws a bad pass. It's short. It's poorly thrown. Eddie Johnson picks it off. And Richardson finally makes the tackle, but it was a poorly thrown pass. Mike lost his composure a little bit. That's unusual.
Now the Lions go to work with Manoa and Thomas in the backfield behind Schaefer. Schaefer getting some pressure, sets up a screen for Blair Thomas, and Thomas is hammered down, hit first by number 57, Randy Rockwell, who turned him back into Cornelius Bennett. Ball moves up to about the 28. That's a pickup of 5.
Boy, Blair Thomas is going to be exciting. Runs a 4.38 40. Carried the ball only 3 times last week and picked up 132 yards. And he's the one, really, not the 17 fifth-year seniors, but it was young Blair Thomas who pulled the Cincinnati game out with a clutch catch on 3rd down and long near the end of the game.
You got Coates and Roundtree wide to the top of the picture now. They have not thrown the ball to the tight end Cyberling yet. They like to drag him down the middle. They give it to Thomas, and Thomas turns it upfield, and he's got room. And he's got a first down at the 45-yard line.
That's what I'm talking about. He's got those quick feet. He's got that low center of gravity. He runs low to the ground, picks his hole, jitterbugs, never offers his body up to the tackle.
They mark him at the 44, where it's first down for the Lions. Just under 8 minutes to go now in the first half. And Schaefer back to throw it. Going deep with it for Coates. And Coates is off the field of play. The ball drifted out to the right side and was 4 or 5 yards off the field of play when Coates got his hands on it. So Alabama got out to the lead on a field goal by Van Tippen. And then Penn State came back on a 19-yard touchdown run by DJ Dozier. Alabama's turned the ball over now twice in the game, the last being an interception, but the big mistake was a holding call against them that wiped out possession on the Penn State 12.
And that field goal by Alabama was the first points in the first quarter against Penn State all year.
Second down and 10 for the Lions. Give it to Thomas. He's gone all the way to the Alabama 27-yard line. I thought he was going to go all the way to the end zone for a moment.
He's fun to watch. Every time he touches the football, he's going to pick up big yards. Can you imagine a running back that averages over 10 yards a carry? Look at this. Just a little counter play. Now he comes back against the grain. Alabama now, a lot of the people have run themselves out of the play. And once you get a little scooter like this into the secondary, it's tough to get him. See how he never offers his body up to the tackler? He always turns, shifts, spins, dives, like a whirling dervish out there.
3 carries, 9 yards, 16 yards, 28 yards. It's first down from the Tide 27 as Schaefer goes down the middle with it. The pass is complete to Tim Manoa, the fullback. He went right up the middle out of the backfield, and he's got the football just short of the Alabama 5, first and goal for the Lions.
Manoa started the first 5 games of the season. He didn't start last week, comes back, he's excellent speed. Normally think of Penn State's fullbacks as being versatile, and he fits that role. Lydell Mitchell, Franco Harris. Franco was the blocking back. Here again, you've got a fullback that can run, can catch, and he can throw the ball as well.
Dozier is back in. Set up in the power I. Give it inside to Manoa, and he hits it to the 3, where he is brought down. It'll be second down and goal for Penn State. Trying to hang 14 points on the board against Alabama here in the first half.
Big defensive series for Alabama. Goal line defense now. You'll see the down linemen are going to try to get their chins to the ground as low as they can. They're going to submarine the offensive linemen and just try to create a pileup. Then the linebackers come and will try to fill.
Thomas is in there with Dozier. Dozier gives it to Thomas, coming back the other way. Seal block, touchdown. The Penn State offensive unit has the Alabama defense guessing, and they're whipping them right now.
Cornelius Bennett said he wanted to get the crowd into the game. Right now, the Alabama spectators sound like they're in the library. It's only the Penn State folks that are yelling and screaming. See the lineman down there establish a new line of scrimmage, just submarine. But then the reverse, there was no pressure out here on the corner. Somebody lost containment out here. Schaefer got out in front of him, wanted to throw a block.
Manka for the extra point is good. You got 6 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the first half. And Penn State, number 5, leads number 2 Alabama 14-3. Will kick off. Manka will hit it and deep to receive it for Bama. Bobby Humphrey. Alabama needs to generate some scoring offense now to stay in the hunt in this ball game.
Well, the thing about these two teams, Keith, is they can come from behind. Both teams have a lot of speed in the skill positions.
That's a very high kick. Should get good coverage. Humphrey takes it at the 8. And loses contact with the earth at the 24. Let's see if we can find out.
Keith, I'm standing on what you have to call the Mason-Dixon line. I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but it's Alabama here and Penn State here. Now, when Alabama scores, everybody here cheers, right? Okay. And when Penn State scores, everybody here cheers. It's not the best seat in the house, but it may be the most dangerous. Back to you.
Could be. Keep your musket handy. Bo Wright carries. And Bo will have a yard approximately to about the 25, where he's hit. Gene Jelks is the tailback, Bo Wright the fullback, and Mike Shula the quarterback. Last week, Alabama rolled up and down the field, totaling 457 yards on the ground against Tennessee. But you can see what they've done so far today. We've got 5:45 to go in the first half. Second down, 9. This is Jelks carrying, sophomore out of Gadsden, and Mike Russo brings it down. Mike has a 110-pound weight advantage in that match.
Keith, you talk about how the Penn State defense is shutting down Alabama. You know, this is a little bit different type defense that we saw last week. Penn State allows only 69-yard rushing, 280 yards total offense. Look at Russo now, blocking. Actually was driven out pretty well by Wes Neighbors.
Third down, 4. Shula dumps it off to Jelks. Jelks running back into the middle is going to be close to his first down as Shane Conlon, number 31. Linebacker, senior for Penn State, makes the hit, and he's one of the good ones in the country.
One of the best Penn State has ever had, and that's as good a tackle as you will ever see. They tell you when you make a tackle to tuck your tail, sky your eyes, make contact right in the chest, come up under his chin, and put him on his back, and that's exactly what Shane Conlon did that time.
But Jelks got his first down up at the 34. Alabama, with 4.5 minutes to go in the first half, keeps it for 4 more snaps. They look confused.
They are confused.
And Shula, now seeing his backs going different directions, says, wait a minute, and calls a timeout. And I don't blame him.
Still looks frustrated.
Early on in the season, Alabama had trouble getting on track in the first half. I just plant that for you. But today they have looked, since the first offensive possession, they have looked a little uncertain. Into the middle. And that'll be worth about 3 yards by Gene Jelks. Joe Paterno early today talked to Tim Brandt about what he planned to show Shula defensively.
Well, we're going to try it. It's very difficult to fool him. He's been around the block so many times, and he's obviously got such a good, quick football mind, and and when he decides to throw, he throws quickly. I think that's one of his strong points. If he sees something, he goes. He doesn't say, well, do I have it or don't I have it, which makes it tough. But we've got to obviously disguise some things. We've got to take some things away from them that they've been particularly good at, the things they've done in the way of big plays. And if we can do that, then it'll be a good, solid game.
And it's been a good, solid game so far for Penn State. That pass is complete to Greg Richardson, but Duffy Cobbs was right there, the cornerback, and he holds him short of his first down. So they're looking at 3rd and about 3.
This time, Penn State brings the outside linebacker on the right side. You see him coming now, but also they drop one off back into the hook area, and that's where Richardson comes underneath and makes the catch. Good read that time by Shula. He looked very composed, read the defense, went to where the weakness was.
Throwing again. Good protection. Again, it's Greg Richardson, and again, it's caught for a first down. At the Penn State 46.
Now, a couple more like that, Keith, and all of a sudden, the running game will start going again. They had to complete a couple of passes to loosen up that Penn State. Penn State started bunching up in there and loading up to stop the run. Once they stopped it, then Shula had to pass, and then they put the pressure on him. But now they've spread things out again. A couple of completions. Now the running game can work.
Jelks with the ball. And it's just too many white shirts out there as the big people, Trey Bauer, Marcus Henderson, the hero back, was up there.
We gave the edge to Alabama in overall team speed, but Joe Paterno makes the emphatic point that this is the fastest team that he's had in a long, long while, perhaps ever.
Could be. They're sitting on a 14-3 lead with 2:45 to go in the first half. Second down, still about 10. Jelks can't come back to the ball. Shula, under pressure, throws it out of bounds as Eddie Johnson was in reaching for him, and Johnson made him hurry. We'll be checking in at Boulder, Colorado at halftime to see what's going on between the Buffaloes and the Cornhuskers. And we've got a feature with Al Troutwig yesterday that is just fabulous. You don't want to miss that. Football fun, because it's something you'll laugh about for a week. The durability of the pigskin. 3rd down and 10. Shula's pass for Al Bell is thrown too high. Trey Bauer, inside linebacker, was covering Al Bell, and he put him down pretty hard, but Shula was off the mark. Missed him by a yard.
Trey Bauer was just serving notice, too. The ball was overthrown. He wanted to put the lick on him just so next time he comes through his territory, he'll have his head on a swivel. He'll be looking for Bauer instead of the football.
Ray Isom deep now for Chris Moore's punt. Once again, the Nittany Lions defense has done its job. hangs it very high and forces the fair catch. And so Penn State will take possession of the ball well back on their end of the field at the 14-yard line. 32-yard punt. That's not always the true measure of a punt distance. Next week, Oklahoma, Kansas, winning big today, ranked 6th in the country, and Ole Miss LSU. Check your local listings for the game in your area. And Oklahoma, again, one of the dominant teams in the country, and with Nebraska dominating the Big 8, but right now the Cornhuskers are in some trouble in the Big 8 play. It is first down for the Lions as B.J. Dozier and Steve Smith are set up behind John Schaefer. And that's Roundtree in motion, Dozier with the ball. And this time Bennett gets him. Cornelius Bennett and Derek Slaughter are the two people who put the pads on Dozier. At 2:15 to go in the first half.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's some play by Bennett. His immediate step was across the line of scrimmage. He went at a right angle, just came down the line of scrimmage and made the tackle from behind.
Gain was a yard, second down 9. Schaefer's been pretty good in the short passing game today. 6 out of 6 for 73 yards, but he's 0 for 3 on the deep stuff. Inside Smith. And Smith is ruled back. By one of the big guys. It was well, Wayne Davis maybe that got the most of it. Minute and a half to go in the first half.
Ray Perkins watching that clock too. He wants to get that ball back one more time. Nobody's better with the clock than Shula. He's a curator of clocks.
3rd and 8 for Penn State. And they may have burned the clock right now. They didn't either. They had 3 seconds to go, but there's a flag on the play. Something wrong with it. Somebody moving probably.
Schaefer saying illegal procedure against Penn State.
He's right. Timeouts remaining in the first half. Alabama has 2. Penn State has all of 3 of theirs at 1:11 to go in the first half, and Penn State possessing the ball back on their 11. It is now 3rd down and 13.
It looked that time like Schaefer was going to go to the tight end. Sirling had flexed a little bit, 5 yards off the tackle. And when they do that, normally you put somebody on his head and try to knock him off the line of scrimmage and don't let him come free, because that's when they're going to drag him across the middle.
Darrell Giles is in the wide position to the bottom of the picture. May indicate a deep fly. They give it instead to Dozier. And Dozier shakes 1, comes up to the 19, close to the 20. 4 yards at least short of the first down. And Alabama here will surely spend the timeout, and they do, to stop the clock. They have 1 remaining now. And Penn State will bring on the kicking team, the punting team.
It was a good-looking play, actually. They came within 4 yards of getting that first down. They did flex the tight end again. Seiberling comes across the middle. Now, you'll see Seiberling coming out of the left hand of your screen on the counter, and he'll come all the way across like he's dragging, but he'll come over to block. See him 91 on the left side there? Then Dozier comes back, cuts it inside, and comes within 4 yards of the first down. Good-looking play. They showed him the drag across the middle, instead round the counter play and used him as a blocker. Look who's calling the timeout, too. Cornelius Bennett. He's a thinker. Wants to stop that clock immediately. 42 seconds. All right, here's the tight end. You can see him flexed off the tackle just slightly. Now, this is what they do. He comes, takes that 2 jitterbug step, then goes across the middle. But what he does is he picks off the linebacker. You see him get Wayne Davis, 58 in there?
Alabama's got 10 people up, going after Bruno, the punter. Richardson is deep. They almost got it, but he clears it out of there. Pretty good kick, too. Drake comes back to the 34 and goes quickly out of bounds at the 37. So Bruno delivers under pressure a 46-yard punt. Good hang time on it. 3-yard return by Richardson and 33 seconds to go in the first half.
Pressure came from the outside. You can see they almost get it. 55 is Derek Thomas. I think that was Cornelius Bennett coming on the other side. But you're right. The key to that play was the hang time of the punt, which was up around 5.1 seconds.
Now with 1 timeout remaining, they start from their 37. It's Alabama's best field position for a starting a possession. Shula dancing around, finally gets rid of the ball to Humphrey. And Humphrey gets out of bounds to kill the clock at 25 seconds. And that a short pickup. Tim Johnson, who had a hurt knee early in the first quarter, came in and put Mike Shula down that time as he delivered the ball.
He has been all over Shula.
Second down and 9 for Alabama. On a draw, little delay with Humphrey, and there's not much there for him as he gets up close to the 40. Penn State's got Ray Eisen back playing center field, and he's not involved with the traffic up along the line of scrimmage at all. He's just back there waiting. 14 seconds to go. Timeout by Alabama, and a look at Penn State's campus.
Penn State produced.
Well, with no timeout remaining, you figure they got time for, well, they got to go for the first down and then go deep.
Keith, some of the people were booing on that last call. They ran a quick opening running play, and with such little time left on the clock, they booed. But what happened was Penn State had been blitzing. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Shula. This time Mike read the blitz, or thought he did, and tried to go with the quick opener. Instead, Penn State didn't bring anybody. They stayed in a zone defense, and they were waiting for the run. So right now, Penn State's defensive scheme is playing a whale of a game, and they've got Alabama a little bit confused.
On third down and 7. Bell is knocked down. He was looking for Al Bell. Bell made his cut in front of Shane Conlon and either was knocked down or fell down. And Shula is pounded, unable to get the pass away, and the first half is over, and Penn State has owned it. 14-3, the Nittany Lions lead at halftime. To accept the kickoff to start the second half, leading 14-3. Jim Coates and Blair Thomas are the deep people. Van Tippen's kick is a hanger going to Coates back on the 2. And ridden down at the 23. It's 3-0 Alabama. DJ Dozier puts Penn State on the board and into the lead with this 19-yard run up the middle.
Dozier has 7 carries, 45 yards rushing, 3 catches in the air, 32 yards, 1 touchdown.
Second quarter, Blair Thomas takes this handoff from Dozier on the reverse and canters in to make it 14-3.
Alabama simply in a short yardage defense down by the goal line and broke containment. They were expecting the play to come up the middle.
Dozier and Smith open behind Schaefer with Roundtree, Seiberling the tight end. And into the middle goes DJ Dozier from the 22-yard line, and he may have a couple of yards on that carry as you see the halftime stats.
All right, now Penn State has had 2 sacks, 1 baggie, and a lot of hurries because they've been all over Shula this afternoon. Now, 2 turnovers. You see that in the right-hand column down by the bottom? 1 fumble, 1 interception. That has really hurt Alabama. And then the penalties. One of those penalties was after a Humphrey ran the ball 20 yards, had first and goal at the 11. That was nullified and took the ball back to the 41-yard line.
Second down and 8 for Penn State from the 24. Smith loses his footing, firing in, 58, Wayne Davis. He hit him behind the line. He just laid his ears back and went for his feet and got him. And there's a loss back to about the 20, close to the 22.
Great penetration by the linebacker here. You see Davis shoot the gap there. 58 came in and submarine and just took his legs out from under him. They're double teaming Bennett a lot of times. The other linebackers then are freeing up and carrying a lot of their load. They've got to make some big plays.
Third and 11. Ball comes back inside the 22. Schaefer back. Passes away. Bounced it. He bounced it. It's an incomplete forward pass. Steve Smith, the fullback, had the screen set, but the pass was underthrown, and it's 4th down. So the Alabama defense wins the first round here in the second half.
Watch Cornelius Bennett. He's on the left side of the screen. He's double teamed. You see Dozier pick him up there. All right, now watch Bennett now. He looks at the screen pass and he releases, and he comes just running across the field now. He thinks the play is still alive. Steve Smith now starts to carry it, and here's Bennett, number 97. Tremendous hit. Well, that's my kind of play right there.
He's flying around.
Tighten the chin strap.
John Bruno will stand back at his 10. He'll hit it from about the 14. His last kick was 46 yards. Greg Richardson is deep, standing back just inside the Alabama 35 to accept it. Low line drive, spiral. Richardson has to back up to his 27. And comes back just over the 40. 50-yard punt, and again, Bruno delivered. But John didn't get much hang on that one. He just shot it out of there, and Richardson effectively returned it about 13 yards.
Cornelius Bennett just threw a block. He put Greg Pruitt on his back, and he brought the crowd back to life.
Crowd's been pretty quiet on the Alabama side so far today. And the first possession of the second half now for Bama. Bobby Humphrey, Bo Wright behind Mike Schuler, Greg Richardson, and Al Bell. Penn State has owned it. 14-3. The Nittany Lions lead at halftime. To accept the kickoff to start the second half. Leading 14-3. Jim Coates and Blair Thomas are the deep people. Van Tippen's kick is a hanger going to Coates back on the 2. And ridden down at the 23. It's 3-0 Alabama. DJ Dozier puts Penn State on the board and into the lead with this 19-yard run up the middle.
Dozier has 7 carries, 45 yards rushing, 3 catches in the air, 32 yards, 1 touchdown.
Second quarter, Blair Thomas takes this handoff from Dozier on the reverse and canters in to make it 14-3.
Alabama simply in a short yardage defense down by the goal line and broke containment. They were expecting the play to come up the middle.
Dozier and Smith open behind Schaefer with Roundtree, Cyberling the tight end. And into the middle goes DJ Dozier from the 22-yard line, and he may have a couple of yards on that carry as you see the halftime stats.
All right, now Penn State has had 2 sacks, 1 bagging, and a lot of hurries because they've been all over Schuler this afternoon. Now, 2 turnovers. You see that in the right-hand column down by the bottom? 1 fumble, 1 interception. That has really hurt Alabama. And then the penalties. One of those penalties was after a Humphrey ran the ball 20 yards, had first and goal at the 11. That was nullified and took the ball back to the 41-yard line.
Second down and 8 for Penn State from the 24. Smith loses his footing, firing in, 58, Wayne Davis. He hit him behind the line. He just laid his ears back and went for his feet and got him. And there's a loss back to about the 20, close to the 22.
Great penetration by the linebacker here. You see Davis shoot the gap there. 58 came in and submarine and just took his legs out from under him. They're double teaming Bennett a lot of times. The other linebackers then are freeing up and carrying a lot of their load. They've got to make some big plays.
3rd and 11. Ball comes back inside the 22. Schaefer back. Passes away. Bounced it. He bounced it. It's an incomplete forward pass. Steve Smith, the fullback, had the screen set, but the pass was underthrown, and it's 4th down. So the Alabama defense wins the first round here in the second half.
Watch Cornelius Bennett. He's on the left side of the screen. He's double teamed. You see Dozier pick him up there. All right, now watch Bennett now. He looks at the screen pass, and he releases, and he comes just running across the field now. He thinks the play is still alive. Steve Smith now starts to carry it, and here's Bennett, number 97. Tremendous hit. Well, that's my kind of play right there.
He's flying around.
Tighten the chin strap.
John Bruno will stand back at his 10. He'll hit it from about the 14. His last kick was 46 yards. Greg Richardson is deep, standing back just inside the Alabama 35 to accept it. Low line drive, spiral. Richardson has to back up to his 27. And comes back just over the 40. 50-yard punt, and again, Bruno delivered. But John didn't get much hang on that one. He just shot it out of there, and Richardson effectively returned it about 13 yards.
Cornelius Bennett just threw a block. He put Greg Pruitt on his back, and he brought the crowd back to life.
Crowd's been pretty quiet on the Alabama side so far today. And the first possession of the second half now for Bama. Bobby Humphrey, Bo Wright behind Mike Schuler, Greg Richardson, and Al Bell are the wide people. Tight end is Howard Cross. Wes Neighbor snapping. Humphrey with the ball. To the 42. Second down and 8 coming up.
Penn State defense is playing an outstanding football game. They have held, as you look at the individual stats of the Penn State backs and now the Alabama backs, but it's been the Nittany Lion defense that has played superbly, holding Alabama to 62 yards rushing. Tim Johnson all over Shula in the first half. Gilbert has 10 tackles for Alabama.
Shula throwing on second and 8. Overthrows his intended receiver, the tight end. He missed him by a yard. Trey Bauer was the linebacker covering the tight end in the short zone, and Cross really wasn't available.
Well, and what Shula's yelling about is that he thought he was taken down illegally. He thought he was blocked and held and pulled to the ground before the pass was thrown. And then once it was in the air, he thought the contact was still going on, which is pass interference. Penn State's just playing aggressively. Good, solid defense.
Third and 8. Shula steps away from the pressure, flips the ball away to Bo Wright, and he is ganged up and brought down by a couple of Lions just about the time he got the ball. But it was Don Graham, number 53, an outside backer, that got to Shula that time and messed up the play, and now Alabama will have to punt.
That's a great defensive stand by Penn State, because Alabama came out fired out of the locker room, fired up, got the crowd back into the game, held them, and now Penn State comes back on and stops Alabama.
Ray Isom, the deep man for the Lions. Moore to punt for Bama. Not a very good punt. Quite short, takes a sideways bounce and goes right out of bounds. So Penn State will get pretty good field position out of that. They're going to have the ball at the 28-yard line. That was only a 30-yard punt by Chris Moore.
When me and my buddies head off to West Texas, nothing works like my Chevy S10 Maxi Cab 4x4. With Instacrack 4-wheel drive, the optional off-road suspension, it can take us to the wildest place in the West. The Terlingua Chili Cook-Off. Come and get it! Good, huh? Yeah. Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing.
Who says you can't have old world taste and a new world waste? Old world aging and the new world's youthful spirit. Europe's finest hops in America's finest light beer. Michelob Light, old world quality.
All right, Penn State's second possession of the second half. They own the ball at their own 28-yard line. This is what they did in the first half on each of their possessions. They pretty well controlled the tempo of this ball game. John Schaefer to Steve Smith. And he bangs his way to the 36. That's 8 yards on first down.
And it's just power football. They're big, strong Penn State players. Right now, they're just controlling the line of scrimmage, and they're not wrapping their arms and taking down the backs. They've got to take an extra step when they tackle, so they have their legs under them rather than being extended, so they can have some power.
Second down, about 2.5. John Schaefer back, gives the ball off. DJ Dozier hits straight ahead with it, and he's close to his first down. They're going to measure it. Nope, they call it a first down. So while they move the chains, let's join Al Trotwick.
Recognize this face? That's right. It's the face of Joe Paterno, coach of Penn State, on our Souvenir of the Week. They're selling these golf balls in State College, the money going to the Library Endowment Fund. We're going to watch this play and see if this golf ball works, which is the bottom line.
John Schaefer back to throw it. Shoots it down the middle. Pass is complete to Darrell Giles, and Giles is on the Alabama 39-yard line. It's going to be a first down for the Lions. Let's go back for the rest of the story from Al.
All right, Keith, this putt breaks a little bit right to left here. Hang with me.
What's complete? Play was good for 22 yards. First down, Penn State.
As usual, a little off the mark. But the ball looks good. Back to you.
Well, when that ball came out, they said it was just like Joe's offense. Travels right up the middle. Today, Joe's everywhere.
First down, Penn State, Alabama 40, round 3 on a reverse, has a blocker in front of him. Cornelius Bennett runs him down, but he's got a first down as he hits the chalk just short of the Bama 25.
I'll tell you what, Joe Paterno is making believers of everybody in the country now. When he said it was one of the fastest teams he's ever had, that now is being exploited. They are just out-quicking Alabama. Now watch this. First of all, they've got Alabama confused. They've got them spread out all over the field. And now they run a little reverse. They've run counters. They've run traps. They've run straight up the middle in power football, and they've thrown the ball effectively. Last week, Schaefer did not throw the ball effectively. Today, he is. And there's the receiver he's looking for, too. Ray Roundtree.
There go Dan Morgan, 270 out in front of him. It's a pretty good convoy right there. Schaefer gives it to Dozier, bouncing outside. Dozier is caught and held short of the line of scrimmage. Derek Thomas, number 55, makes the defensive play for Bama. And the loss is right at 3 yards.
Oh, what a job that guy does. Joe Paterno. He's taken a lot of criticism this year, saying the schedule is soft. While Penn State was playing Temple, Boston College, East Carolina, Rutgers, Syracuse, Cincinnati, Alabama was playing some big boys like Ohio State and Florida.
Penalty flag as Schaefer shoots it down the middle for the tight end, Morosco. He's got the ball, makes the catch at the 15 for a first down, but let's see about the penalty. The referee threw it.
He wins this one, Keith. He won't be criticized for the schedule.
It's against the Lions.
No, he won't.
Michigan still undefeated, winning big today. Ohio State rolled against Minnesota. And at halftime, Colorado is bidding for an upset while Oklahoma routed Iowa State. And we'll watch Oklahoma at Kansas next week.
Motion, motion, offense, second down.
And I sort of wonder if Kansas can play the Sooners, even though it's in Lawrence. Well, out in the West Coast, Stanford has staged to come back. Washington State coming back to tie UCLA. Pac-10's out sort of upside down right now, too.
NC State must be fairly strong this year.
Second down for Penn State, back on their 33. As Schaefer drops the throw. Has all day and completes the pass at the 20 to Eric Hamilton. Hamilton had all day to run. He just kept on running and finally escaped coverage, and Schaefer found him.
Straight drop, 7 steps, no pressure at all. He has all day. Then when Hamilton clears underneath the coverage, which is a zone coverage, he comes underneath. You see him here now. Watch. He'll break right behind the linebackers, underneath the cornerback on that side, and he comes free.
So it is third down and just about 5. Schaefer still got it. Trying to run for it, can't do it. Number 56, Greg Gilbert. What has he got? 11 tackles in the ball game now for Alabama. Greg Gilbert, number 56.
Playing a great game, no question about that. He's got great lateral movement. He covers the entire field. But I want you to watch something on this. He could have been called for a flagrant penalty here because clotheslining is illegal. I want you to watch his right arm as he makes contact here. All right, here comes the ball carrier. He's already winding up on Schaefer. See how he brings that around and whips it around his neck? That's illegal.
Would have been a foul. Fourth down and about 5, and a 37-yard field goal try by Massimo Manca. It's long enough and it's good. So Manca from 37 yards builds Penn State's lead to 17-3 over Alabama.
Good grief. The world-famous MetLife.
Number 5, Penn State, leading number 2, Alabama, with 17 unanswered points. Bama went to a 3-0 lead first quarter. Penn State led 14-3 at halftime, and now just added a 37-yard field goal by Manca with 8:25 to go in the third quarter. Manca kicks off. Humphrey is the deep man. It's going to be very short and fielded up the field. picked up by Chester Braggs. And Braggs will get across the 25 to about the 26. Give you an idea of how the Penn State defense has taken control of the ball game. The last 14 times Alabama has run the ball, they have produced 10 yards. That's 14 rushes for 10 yards.
Alabama 1st and 10.
Mike Shula's had a tough day. Gene Jelks is in there now at tailback, replacing Humphrey. From the 26. Jelks with the ball. Just when it appeared he might break loose for big yardage, Trey Bauer jumped him and stopped him just short of the 29.
Mike Shula was nailed by Russo, the nose tackle of Penn State. As soon as he handed the ball off, he was dropped.
He's taken some punishment.
He is.
2nd down and 7. And the ball to Jelks again, and he's caught by Shane Conlon, and in no way Gene wins that. Conlon 6'3", 225, and in the eyes of many an All-American linebacker, Jelks 170-pounder.
Conlon can run, too. He's got good speed for a linebacker. This is the first time this year that Penn State has looked normal.
What does that mean?
Average. But it's not.
First time Alabama.
I mean, Alabama has looked average. But it's a compliment to Penn State. They make them look that way.
3rd down, about 12. Shula swings it out, and the pass is off the hands of Jelks. And it's been that kind of a day for Shula. He's been just off his mark virtually all day long. And in comes the punting team at 6:59 to go in the 3rd quarter. Weather is hell. It's been a good football day with no sun. That's Ray Isom deep. Moore's last punt was a 30-yarder. That's a little better. Isom comes across, takes it on the run, drops it, goes out of bounds at the 35. That's a 40-yard punt. But still not the kind of punting we saw Moore do in his freshman year. 6:50 to go, 3rd quarter. Bet on the riot act after they lost to California. Said if I'd known you guys were so bad, I wouldn't have recruited you. And they've been going ever since. Penn State coming up here now, drawing all kinds of penalty flags for an illegal procedure call as they open with Blair Thomas now at tailback and Steve Smith at fullback. Neither team doing much here in this 3rd quarter except for Manka's field goal. Alabama has done nothing.
Illegal procedure, offense, 1st down.
So it comes back to the 30 where it is 2nd down and it should be 1st down and 15. Right now, Cornelius Bennett is not on the field. Schaefer hands the ball to Blair Thomas, and he wiggles away from a couple of tacklers and turns in a pretty good run that time when it looked like they might have him behind the line of scrimmage, and finally it's Kurt Jarvis that brought him down. Right now, Philip Brown is in the ball game instead of Cornelius Bennett at that outside linebacking post, and now Bennett comes back in.
They've been on the field a long time this afternoon. I don't know if Ray Perkins is just trying to give some of the guys a rest or whether he's trying to stimulate them and get them motivated by putting in some of the other players. Brown that time was not into the activity. Now, as you mentioned, Cornelius Bennett is back, but still there's 2 or 3 other new players that are into the ball game now.
It's 2nd down and about 7. John Schaefer to throw. No pressure. Now gets away from the pressure. But he is short of the 1st down. Randy Rockwell, number 57.
Good penetration by Cliff Thomas, number 99, but of course it is Rockwell who comes out. And watch him now in the open field. You're supposed to break down, keep your eyes high, and make the tackle high. Rockwell comes and he grabs him up around the waist and makes a fine open field tackle.
Ball is on the 40. They need 5 yards on 3rd down to keep it. 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 17-3 Penn State. Schaefer turned and bumped into the fullback, gives it to Thomas, and Thomas is decked way back inside the 40 to about the 37. Joe Godwin got the first hit on him, number 90.
But it was Anthony Smith that put the textbook tackle on him. Oh, I want to tell you, that's like the tackle that Shane Conlon had earlier. Put that face mask right in the chest, ride him under the chin, and put him on his back.
So in comes John Bruno to punt, and Alabama again with 10 people up front. Going after him, can't get there. The kick is away. Richardson comes up for a fair catch call, then backs away from it as the ball bounces back up the field. And the beanbag hits at about the 28-yard line. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. That was a 35-yard punt. To get on the back of the Crimson Tide, ranked 2nd in the nation. They're trailing 17-3 with 4:40 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Penn State defense has just absolutely shut them down. Doug Allen, Bobby Humphrey lined up in the backfield for the Tide. Penn State's caught offside, trying to anticipate the count. They run out the play as Humphrey gets it up to roughly the 32, so they're better off to take the onside or the encroachment call against Penn State.
It was Don Graham that jumped, the outside linebacker for Penn State. He's really frustrated because Penn State is shutting them down, and they don't want to make any errors. Look at this. Alabama's possessions. Fumble, field goal, punt, interception, punt, and halftime. Punt, punt. So they didn't get much better yet. Tells the story, doesn't it?
Certainly does. They're talking to Wes Neighbors about what they want to do, take the penalty or take the play. The penalty's worth 1.5 yards more. And they keep the down.
Defense. First down, first down.
1st and 5 from the 33 for Alabama. Shula dumps it off. Goes to Doug Allen. Allen butts heads and gets the first down. Trey Bauer brings him down. It was number 90, Pete Giftopoulos, that hit him head on, I thought.
And he's a little bit groggy, too. Well, I want to tell you something else, too. Trey Bauer is down on the field, too. Now, watch this. They're coming on the left side, the back side of Shula. They brought the pressure back there. They were playing games crisscrossing, so they just dropped it out to the little Iceman, the safety valve on the side. Boy, it was 35. It was Bauer who hit him first. He's shaken up. And you're right, Giftopoulos, too, number 90, is groggy.
So timeout taken here for Trey Bauer, inside backer. And he's going to need a couple of minutes to shake that one off. The New York City Marathon coming up next week. Our director, Larry Cam, will be leaving us and doing the coverage here on ABC of the largest marathon field in this country and one of the largest in all the world. Some 20,000 people banging around. I'd be afraid to get into that thing. I'd wind up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania instead of Manhattan. I got that many folks.
You can see Bauer. It looks like the phone stopped ringing. His head's clearing a little bit.
First down for Alabama at their just outside their 43-yard line, and Shula gives it to the up man, the fullback, and Doug Allen, who's a 180-pounder, and he works his way up close to the 47 for 4 yards.
Doug Allen
is becoming an ally now of Penn State at 3:30 to go in the 3rd quarter.
It really is. I was going to talk about Doug Allen, how he missed 3 weeks with a knee injury. He suffered against Florida, but he's come back strong, rehabilitated it. We talked to him yesterday over in the dining hall, and he says the leg's stronger than ever. He's playing authoritatively here.
2nd down and 6. Shula throws with Shane Conlon hanging on to him, and the pass intended for Howard Cross is incomplete.
Shane Conlon, 31. Look at this. Nobody picks him up. The blocker runs out of the way, so now it's just a chase and go. There's my guy, Tim Johnson, too. He's playing a terrific ball game today. 55. So Conlon and Johnson both got there, and they've been putting pressure all over Shula.
Not bad for a guy that was hobbling around with a hurt knee early on in the first quarter. He's come back with a fury. It is 3rd down and 6. They've handled Bell today, too. Bell going down the middle now. Shula looking for him. Throws it. He's got it. He's short of the first down by a couple of yards. He could not make the turn upfield with Don Graham and Pete Giftopoulos there.
Well, you're still in the 3rd quarter, Keith. It's too early to gamble. It's 4th and 2, and they've got to punt it away.
Almost 3. Chris Moore is in now after a 40-yard punt the last time. His longest today was a 42-yarder. Gets it out of there for Ray Isom. Fair catch called. He backs off from it, but it takes an Alabama bounce, and they're going to kill it.
That's a mistake.
Almost slid into the end zone. It's a mistake by Isom. They're going to put the ball down at the Penn State 3, a 45-yard punt. So the Lions are backed up, and here's Al with a guy that's about to back him up.
That's true, Keith. This is Doug Skinner, alias the Nittany Lion. A big game for him. And you've been doing a lot of training, haven't you, Doug? Yeah, he's been in training all week. As a matter of fact, we have some training footage of Doug getting ready for this big game. Let's take a look at that. That's quite a growl you got there, Doug. Thank you very much. Go back to the mountains. Keith?
You sure that wasn't a cougar? Trying to come out of the deep territory is Steve Smith, the big tough fullback for the Lions. And Steve from the 3 is out around the 10.
That really helps, too, because Isom did make a mistake. One of the 4 don'ts of the kicking game. Don't ever let the ball hit the ground. That backed them up, and then, of course, he just came out. Smith banged it out, and now all of a sudden they've got 2nd and short. About 4, 3.
No, not even that much. He got that ball all the way to the 11 on the mark. He's got about 2.5. This is DJ Dozier looking for the first down marker, and DJ will not get there as they wrestle him down right about the line of scrimmage. Number 34, Ricky Thomas, getting up from the bottom of the stack. The strong safety. Colorado just jumped Nebraska again at Wishbone. It's 3rd down. And a little more than 2 yards for the first down. Time about gone in the 3rd quarter. The Lions leading 17-3. John Schaefer back to throw it. Gets it off. And it is caught for a first down up near the 30-yard line. Ray Roundtree, a junior from Aiken, South Carolina, got loose on the sidelines, and Schaefer fired a beauty.
He really did, and he stood back there and waited, too. They picked up Cornelius Bennett on the double team. You can see the blocking up front one-on-one is solid, and he just hangs in the pocket, has time to throw it, and hits Roundtree again. Alabama was in his own defense, and they hit it in the seam.
This is Dozier running in traffic for a couple of yards. Let's go to Jim Lampley in New York.
But it was not the classic wishbone, Keith. This was a little bit of trickery on the part of Colorado's Buffaloes, which produced this latest touchdown. Halfback pass. O.C. Oliver trailing on what looked like the standard wishbone option play, threw the long one to Lance Carl, 52 yards. First play of the 4th quarter, 17-7 Colorado. Nebraska's going to have to prove its mettle now. All yours, Keith.
Time about gone 3rd quarter, and Penn State's proving its mettle right now, leading 17-3 as they're going to let the clock run out. So after 3 periods of play, on number 2 ranked Alabama's home field, the Lions have a 14-point lead. Well, the Bama the band's been working overtime trying to crank up the crowd, but the crowd hasn't had that much to cheer about because Penn State has pretty well controlled this football game outside of the opening offensive surge when Alabama looked like in its first 2 possessions they might move the ball. Then they turned it over, and it's pretty much belonged to Penn State. 2nd down and 7 for the Lions as Schaefer goes to the air to Blair Thomas, and Thomas is dropped at 36 by Wayne Davis. And here are the third quarter stats to give you some idea of how Penn State's controlled this thing.
See the rushing yardage? Alabama has 67 total yards rushing. That means they only picked up 5 yards in the third quarter. They had 13 yards they picked up in the third quarter in passing. In their last 17 running plays, Alabama has gotten only 13 yards.
On 3rd down, Schaefer throwing again. Goes down the middle for the first time today to his tight end, Brian Seiberling. And Seiberling makes the catch up at the 42, and that will be another Penn State first down.
6 yards, first down, Penn State.
This is Schaefer right after he releases it. That's Cornelius. Again, Cornelius rides the double team and gets back there. But Penn State is doing a marvelous job picking him up with the double team.
I thought you left us there for a minute. First down. Schaefer hands it inside. The ball loose. Alabama's got it at the Penn State 39. Wayne Davis. Cornelius Bennett hit Blair Thomas, knocked him loose, and Davis covered it, and the Tide makes a break. Lions' first turnover of the day.
Mistake-free football. That's been the philosophy. That's been the theory today. Penn State has done it until this play. Cornelius Bennett travels from the backside. The left hand knocks the ball free, strips it loose. First big break for Alabama today.
They've got it first down at the Penn State 39. Humphrey and Allen in the backfield. Now let's see if they can do something with the break. Shula on first down. Ducks away from the pressure and is knocked down. A penalty flag goes down, and number 55, Tim Johnson, is the man that took his feet away. They get a holding call here against Alabama, and you do.
Well, I think it's going to be a clip against Howard Cross.
Clip.
Cross came out of the legal clipping area, rode him back, and hit him from behind. We'll have to see. I could be wrong, but I was watching Cross throw that block from behind.
Clipping! Offense! Decline! Second down!
They'll take the loss and the down. You've got to go to the 29 to get the first down. Right now, Alabama's back on its 49. So they need 22 yards on second down. Little shovel pass ahead to Doug Allen. Allen gets into the secondary, running hard, and gets the ball back to the 31. Make it to 32. Ray Isom brought him down. So they get a big play there out of that little shovel pass. With 13:21 to play in the ball game. And they're looking at third down and about 3.
Safest play in football, sometimes the most effective. The shuffle pass, the old Utah pass. Run blocking. If it's dropped, it's an incompleted pass. It picks up the big gainer.
Cross and Stafford, 2 tight ends in now for Bama. They give the ball to Humphrey, and Humphrey is a yard short of his first down.
Now you go for it on 4th.
Nebraska coming back there, you see, with a field goal. 17-10 out in Boulder. Here it's 17-3, Penn State. And time swiftly becoming an ally of the Lions.
Biggest play of the game right here, Keith, for Alabama.
4th and 1. Ball is loose. Penn State's got it. Humphrey tried to go. The top was nailed at the top of the stack. The ball came flying out, and Penn State recovers it back on the 37, Pete Kirkendall. I don't know who hit him, but somebody sure did.
You'll see it. It was all in tight. Two tight ends, power offense. You're just going straight ahead. Now here comes the linebackers.
Trey Bauer.
Linebackers filled. It's 35, Trey Bauer. Then he gets a lot of help in the pursuit. And when that ball pops loose, they're on it. They're running to the football today. They're dominating with strength. They're just dominating that line of scrimmage. Trey Bauer filled nicely and forced the fumble.
Wow. Today that has just been spectacular. Trey Bauer, who just forced that fumble, being one, and the other, the defensive tackle, Tim Johnson. They have really been something to watch. First down for the Lions at the 37. And Schaefer gives it to Manoa, and Manoa is ridden down right about the line of scrimmage. Leading the tacklers, Greg Gilbert, who has been equally spectacular for Alabama. He's not too big. He's 6'3", 200, but he sure has played big today.
He's got big thighs, Keith. That's where all the power comes in your tackling. It comes through the legs. You have to explode through the legs. See how he dropped that tail and then exploded up through those legs? Powerful. Works the leg machine a lot.
Second down and 10 for Penn State. Thrown out to Manoa, and Manoa is hammered down short of the first down. They'll give him just over the 45. Once again, it is Greg Gilbert involved with help from Kermit Kendrick. Well, Auburn is down at Mississippi State, another big game tonight in the SEC, and Ole Miss LSU next week will be a big game in the SEC chase to the Sugar Bowl. And we'll be out at Lawrence, Kansas, as Oklahoma tries to keep it rolling against the Kansas Jayhawks. You see that Nebraska's having trouble today. You have to wonder if Old Bo Kansas might rise up against Oklahoma next week. There's your first down as Manoa carries the ball, and now it's beginning evident that the Alabama defensive unit is getting a little tired, and they are being outmanned, and they have been much of the day.
As we watch Penn State dominate this game, I can't help but think Joe Paterno suffered through that 6-5 season in 1984, during which he was criticized, saying that the game had passed him by. Some trendy media members said that he wasn't with it anymore, that his style of play was outmoded. Well, in 1985, Paterno came within one game of the national championship, and here he is, and all of a sudden, defensive ball controller fashionable again.
Well, I don't imagine Joe worries a whole heck of a lot about what the media says anyhow. 10.5 minutes to go in the football game. Let's pause 5 seconds here for our local station. Ball is at the Alabama 49-yard line, and Penn State leading 17-3 with 10:15 to play in the game. Lions have the ball, have control, have the lead. Came in ranked 5th in the nation. Bennett trying to come around, and he got there just a fraction late. Dozier has the ball as he shook off Wayne Davis, and he runs it all the way down to the Alabama 26-yard line before Ricky Thomas can finally bring him down. And there's a penalty flag down there with the ball. That's a hard run by Dozier there.
And an outstanding quick release on the pass by Schaefer. Watch Schaefer when he drops back. The linebackers coming from the outside are going to be just a half step late. See him? He sees him coming and then drops it quickly with the release there. But you're right, Dozier maintained his balance there. The rest of it's all his, on his own.
Personal foul against Alabama now moves that ball down inside the 15.
That tells it right there. See how close he was not getting that ball off? Kept his right arm high above the shoulder pads and just released it quickly.
First down, Penn State at the Alabama 13-yard line. David Clark is in at tailback now for Penn State. Give the ball instead to Manoa, the fullback, and he gets to about the 10, where Bennett brings him down. Penn State will be at West Virginia next week. Then Maryland comes to Beaver Stadium. Then they go to South Bend against Notre Dame and play Pittsburgh at home. Frankly, I don't see anybody there in the last 4 games that figures to challenge them unless it could be Pittsburgh, rapidly improving team. Blair Thomas is now in at the tailback position. He's got it. And Bennett's got him. There's the remaining schedule for the Lions. Alabama has got a rough road from here on. They go to Mississippi State next week, play LSU in Birmingham. Then they have Temple, and then finish with Auburn. Auburn, remember, is still undefeated. They really haven't been threatened by anybody yet. John Schaefer gives to DJ Dozier. And he can't get much out of that one. So Massimo Manca will make an entry into the ball game.
For the 5 Alabama games remaining, though, on the schedule will be played here in the state of Alabama. That'll make a difference.
Colorado is now back out to a 10-point lead over Nebraska. So that's beginning to look more and more like a major upset in the Big 8. Manca's field goal is good. So it's 7 minutes and 34 seconds to play in the ball game. Penn State 20, Alabama 3.
All appearances from 1959 to 1983, a total of 25.
A 20-3 lead for Penn State. Kerry Good is on the field now, standing deep for Alabama, along with Bobby Humphrey to accept the Penn State kickoff. The Penn State defense. They've really been quite a story. Manca's kickoff. Oh, skittering ball. It goes down, and it is finally picked up by Doug Allen at the 16. And he's down around the 23-24.
Allen receives, returns 9 yards.
Now, Al Tretwig.
Keith, you're checking out the view from the best seat in the house. It is section GG, row 61, seat 16. It's $15. Let me tell you why it's the best seat in the house. Because you can, from here, watch football and then turn around and watch the girls from Pi Beta Phi sunbathe. But as you can see, they're not sunbathing today. And by the way, there's also some fraternities out there in case there are some ladies in these seats.
Mike Shula back on first down. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Nobody to throw to. Dumps it off, can't get it to Greg Richardson. Bob White was riding him down as Mike threw it. Been one of the tougher days in his career here at Alabama.
Well, the way the game started out, Alabama was fairly dominant offensively for the first 5 minutes. Last 20 rushes, though, have produced only 3 yards. So when the defense settled down, it just closed the gate and locked it.
Threw away the key. Second down and 10. That pass is overthrown, intended for Bo Wright. He might have had a little room, though I thought perhaps Penn State's reactive coverage might have been good enough to hold him short of the first down. Duffy Cobbs was over there.
His uniform indicative of the type of day he's had. He doesn't wear his jersey like that normally. Half of it was ripped off.
Yeah, that's right. Lights have been on all day. It's kind of a gray, dark day, but no rain for the game. On 3rd and 10. Pass is caught by Greg Richardson, and ball comes loose. Is he down, or is it a fumble? It is a fumble. And Penn State has recovered it. That's 4 turnovers for Alabama.
Trey Perkins just threw his hands up in the air. Says, come on, what is happening here? Here he is, Richardson now. He drives down, and he believes it's just a hook pattern. See him stop now. He comes back to meet the ball. The ball's right there, perfectly thrown, but see, he doesn't have a good hold on it. Did you see it? It was up and down instead of holding on to the tip of the ball and tucking it away.
And Trey Bauer collected it for Penn State. So he's had a day, too. First down for the Lions at the Alabama 45. Schaefer gives it to Dozier. And DJ's got a first down inside the 35 at the Bama 34. So the Crimson Tide now are just about at the point where they're going to have to admit to themselves, we've taken a whooping. And regroup and go on and try to win the conference championship.
Penn State has played well at every position. DJ Dozier has been outstanding. 4-year starter at Penn State. That's rare in itself. And he's headed toward his 4th straight year of leading Penn State in rushing. That will be a first in Happy Valley.
David Clark's in there right now at the tailback position, and he ain't bad either. Here he goes with it. Gang tackle just about the line of scrimmage. Jarvis and Slaughter, the tackle. Those are the top 10 teams and what's happening to them today, and one of them is in trouble. Number 3 ranked Nebraska in the 4th quarter, trailing by 10 points. I should say 2 of them are in trouble. Alabama certainly the number 2 and 3 teams, both in deep trouble. This is Tim Manoa. He's a tough guy. They've got to go inside the 24 to get the first down. So they'll be looking at 3rd now. And a pretty good chunk. Right at 4 yards. You got 6 minutes to play out in Boulder with the Buffaloes leading Nebraska by 10 points. Third and a 4-yard pickup needed here for Penn State. This is Manoa. And nailed by Greg Gilbert, 56.
We can't say enough about Gilbert. He's just played an outstanding game all afternoon. No one's been able to handle him. One-on-one, he's defeated the block. Double team, and he's defeating the block. Coming through on blitzes. Here he is right here. See him in his linebacker spot. Stays, reads, now explodes. Here he comes on the tackle. Oh, we've seen some picture-perfect tackles today.
4th down, and Massimo Manca is in now for a 42-yarder. He's hit from 37 and from 29, and from 42, there's plenty of leg, and it's good. So Manca kicked 4 field goals last year in the 19-17 win up at State College. Now he's got 3 today, and it's 23-3 Penn State. Kick it off. Second half scoring. Manca's got 9 and Alabama nothing. And this one again on the ground and fielded up short this time by John Mangum, a freshman cornerback for the Tide. And Alabama will have it outside their 30-yard line. And again, we get a little flare-up of tempers on the field.
That's frustration now. Early going, it was the adrenaline was flowing. Now it's frustration. The only thing that Alabama can do now is just go to its hurry-up offense, 2-minute drill, try to utilize the clock the best way they can.
You got 5 minutes to play in the ball game, and it's on the Alabama 32. Penn State by 20. The series was 5-3 coming into today. It'll be 5-4 when this day is over. Shula's pass is away. Bell had it for a moment. The ball squirts loose, and they're going to call it an incomplete forward pass. He was hit by Marcus Henderson, the strong safety.
Henderson was in his hip pocket all the way when he came across. As soon as the ball got there, he made contact and just separated the two. Watch this. Comes across the middle. Here comes Henderson right now. Boom.
Second down and 10. Shula wants Humphrey. Goes instead for Greg Richardson. And what a lick by Marcus Henderson on Richardson, and Greg still down. But he held it.
Penn State's just holding a defensive clinic right now. Zone defense. Again, they take him down in the safety. See, this is the intended receiver right here is Richardson, but they knocked him off. Who is it? That's Pete Giftopoulos knocked him off stride, and Henderson comes over and finishes him off.
I think he wanted Humphrey more than anybody else, but Eddie Johnson took him away from him early on and never gave him a look.
46.
So it's first down, Alabama at the Penn State 46. Shula's got to stay in the air. Throws it underneath to Bell, and Bell can't hang on as Giftopoulos is there to bother him. And so it comes back to 2nd and 10 as the Redskins and the Giants will get together at Giant Stadium next Monday night at 9 Eastern Time on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. It's an old rivalry that gets a little fierce sometimes.
First place at stake in the NFC East. The Redskins lead it. The Giants want it. They'll get after each other.
Shula gets it away, intended for Bell, and the pass is a little off because Shula was being pressured by Matt Johnson. As Mike threw it, Johnson was just a half a step from him.
See, that's as good as a sack right there. That's what they call a hurry. He went down. He didn't have time to set. He just had to release the ball before the receiver was ready. And it was almost picked off. You'll watch him now. This is a seven-step drop, and he has to throw it before he's set. Never does plant his feet because of the hurry, because Johnson was there.
Shula throwing it for Clay Whitehurst. And Whitehurst makes the catch just beyond the marker, and a first down for Alabama. 4:22 to play in the football game. Colorado has just intercepted Nebraska now, leading by 10 points, 20-10, with about 3 minutes to play. So the Buffaloes got a handle on things, and Shula is nailed by Bob White, number 34. He was trying to step away from pressure the other way, and he stepped right into White.
Mike's going to be awfully sore tomorrow.
So Big Bob White, senior from Freeport, gets a tackle for the Lions. 4:09 to play in the game. Penn State has it in hand.
I don't know. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. What are you going to do?
4:09. Time on Penn State's side. They got a 20-point lead. Alabama has yet to score a touchdown today. They got a field goal for an early 3-0 lead, and that's it. And it's second down. As Shula dropped, buying some time, gets the pass away, intended for Al Bell. It is intercepted down at the 10 by Ray Isom, and he is thrown down at about the 12-yard line, and that's 5 turnovers for Alabama. Isom was back there playing center field and made it look easy.
See, that part of the problem, Keith, is what's been happening to Shula all day. He's jittery back there. He knows he's coming with a lot of pressure, both sides, releases it before he's ready again, throws into the zone coverage. Isom's back there playing the deep third, and it's thrown. It looks like it's thrown to him. See this? Look, here's the wide angle. This is the coach's film. They're in a zone. See them? They just take their drops. Bell tries to get in the seam. He's behind everybody, but the ball is poorly thrown. Throws it out to the deep third. Isom's there and tucks it away.
And now Penn State will try to grind out the clock as Tim Manoa carries it from the 12. The clock is rolling along. Alabama with 3 timeouts remaining. No, 2 timeouts remaining. And Penn State would, they'll need 2 first downs to put it away.
Keith, I'm shocked. I am really shocked. I thought the 2 teams matched up extremely well. I thought we'd have a power football game. I thought it'd be extremely close. I thought the edge would go to Alabama for overall team speed. But it's Penn State that has outquicked the Crimson Tide all afternoon.
Well, Penn State gave up some yardage early on in the early going as David Clark carries here along the snap of the ball in the trenches. But about the middle of the first quarter, they took control of the line of scrimmage, and they have kept control.
And I was wrong. I made the comment. I said, I'd like to say that they're just getting comfortable and adjusting to Alabama, but they're getting blown off the football. Well, they did adjust. They did get comfortable, and they just took over.
The last 21 times Alabama has run the ball in this game, they picked up 1 yard. I don't know what else you need for testimony to the fact that Penn State defensive people own the line of scrimmage for 3.5 quarters. 2:35 to go in the game. Penn State 3rd down 8. And the ball to Manoa. He breaks a couple of tackles and has his first down. That will just about do it.
Quality football team. Well coached, as we all expected, because we know the job that man does. Joe Paterno, one of the best in the business. It's an experienced football team. He brought back 17 fifth-year seniors. Redshirted more people than he ever has to get this group. Quite frankly, Joe doesn't like the red shirt, but he said when they allowed graduate students to play, then he didn't mind at all, because then it gave the student the opportunity to come back and complete not only his degree, but then go on for the credits afterwards in graduate school.
First down for the Lions now as they give to Manoa again, and the big fullback finds room and gets to the 30 before Chris Good brings him down for Bama. And we're now inside 2 minutes to go. And so the Auburn Tigers will go to Mississippi State tonight. They're undefeated. Alabama's loss here today takes away one hope from the Sugar Bowl for a possible matchup for a national championship. Nebraska losing out in Colorado takes away one hope for the Orange Bowl to have a possible national championship matchup. So it could be this national champion will have a loss. But remember, Penn State, they're right there. They'll have to pick somebody to play that could mean national title for them. Michigan is still undefeated. They'll be looking for some team to emerge out in the Pac-10, might give them a claim at it. Right now, David Clark has just broken a big play for a first down for Penn State at the Lions' 47-yard line, and the clock stops at 1:18 to play.
And let us not forget Miami, which is off this weekend, and Auburn, which is still undefeated, playing tonight.
Well, Miami plays, I think Miami's got 2 tough games. They got Florida State, and they go to Pittsburgh. And Bobby Bowden, his Seminoles can give anybody all they want.
Always play well against Miami. Last year, Florida State sacked Testaverde 7 times.
Clark has the ball, caught behind the line of scrimmage by Alabama. We're inside a minute now, and the clock is rolling. And this one is going into the books. The series now will be 5-4 favoring Alabama, and they'll be going back up to Happy Valley next year. Right now, Penn State looks as good as any team I've seen this year. Now it's a matter of just running off 47 seconds. And the Nittany Lions of Penn State will be headed home. Winner over Alabama. Leading right now 23-3 and having dominated this football game. Running it, staying on the ground. Manoa doing most of the heavy work for the Nittany Lions. And I don't know if Alabama went off as a considered favorite in the ball game and has just spent the last time out. But having looked at this football game, I'm not so sure one would want to get carried away with the word upset.
When I talked with Joe Paterno prior to the game, I couldn't believe how loose he was. Now I know why.
Well, that's always his attitude, though. He says, look, we got ourselves in a position to play a big ball game. We ought to enjoy it. And he has.
It's not brain surgery. It's college football. It's supposed to be enjoyed. That's why you came, to get an education and play football, and that's what they're doing.
Like a purple tongue.
Quality guy.
Time ticking away here, and 2 members of our engineering crew are about ready to head for the hills of the fishing hole and enjoy the rest of their sunny days. Eric Rasmussen after 23 years with ABC, and Jim Green after 37 years with ABC. So guys, y'all go have yourself a good time. You've earned it. I wish I was going with it.
I was just going to say, I better keep an eye on you or you will.
John Schaefer running around, killing the clock, running around, killing the clock, and finally he's knocked down back on the 43. But all of that is academic. The clock is rolling now, and Alabama can't do anything about stopping it. With 20 seconds, they're going to roll it off. And the Penn State Nittany Lions come south to Tuscaloosa and hang one on the Crimson Tide. 10 seconds. Penn State 23, Alabama 3. And And the Lions have made their point. Now let's go to Jim Ledley.
And from one upset...
Hey, number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Nebraska. Penn State dominant in Tuscaloosa by a score of 23-3. The most valuable players in today's ball game for Penn State, Trey Bauer. That inside linebacker gets the call. 9 tackles, a fumble recovery. Greg Gilbert for Alabama had at least 16 tackles that we could count for the Crimson Tide. So the respective universities will receive from Chevrolet $1,000 for their general scholarship fund. Producer of today's game, Bob Goodrich. Directed by Larry Cam. Technical director, Doug Schmidt. Associate director, Jack Graham. Statistician, Dave Burnson. Spotter, Todd Berry. This ABC Sports Exclusive has been brought to you by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. By New York Life, to help you get the most out of life. By Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting. And by Ramada, where business travelers always find the all-star treatment. So number 5 beat number 2 here today in Tuscaloosa. Penn State over Alabama 23-3. Stay tuned now for updated highlights and scores of the action on college football scoreboard. Travel arrangements made through, promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports.
Familiar with the rapidly burgeoning tradition for college football buttons here on the postgame show, and this week's button speaks for itself. Minted a little bit earlier this week in State College, Pennsylvania. It turned out to be prophetic, as the Tide was indeed upside down. Meanwhile, Michigan, 4th-rated, beat Indiana 38-14, bringing Bo Schembechler's record against the Hoosiers to 15-0. Jim Harbaugh in the game, 16 of 24 for 300 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and 1 touchdown run. And Michigan is one of the 4 remaining unbeaten, untied teams in Division 1A. The others, of course, Miami, Penn State, whom you saw today, Auburn, which travels tonight to dangerous Starkville, Mississippi, to play Mississippi State, and their outstanding quarterback, Don Smith. Minnesota played Ohio State today in Columbus. The Buckeyes got their 6th straight win, 33-0. Chris Carter in the game, 5 catches, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns all season long. We've been waiting to see when this great receiver was going to explode for the Buckeyes, and it finally happened today on a very rainy day in Columbus, Ohio, when not all of the crowd waited around through the long second half of the one-sided game. You're looking at what was part of an outstanding effort by Jim Carsatos, the Ohio State quarterback. That, a 27-yard run in the third quarter, or I should say in the second quarter. In the third quarter, he followed it up with this 27-yard touchdown pass to Chris Carter. And then very shortly after that came back with the second of the 2 touchdown passes to Carter. This one from just about the same distance. And again, it was an outstanding day for both of them as the Buckeyes rolled to their 6th victory in a row. Freshman running back Jim Bryant was in the neighborhood of 100 yards, and Darrell Thompson of Minnesota, 2nd in the nation in rushing coming in, was held to in the neighborhood of 80 yards. Nebraska fell, as we've already told you, to Colorado, 20-10. The last time Nebraska was beaten by Colorado, Engelbert Humperdinck was named Jerry Dorsey. And here's how it happened. Bob Beatty mentioned the trick plays. The first one was this, a reverse. Mark Hatcher handing off on the flank reverse to Jeff Campbell, a walk-on freshman, as Beatty pointed out to us, who went 40 yards to give an obviously very fired-up Colorado team a 7-0 lead. Shortly after that, Dave DeLine produced a 57-yard field goal. His brother, Steve DeLine, kicks for Colorado State and had a 58-yarder today against Wyoming. So it's a big day in that family. It was 10-0 Buffs at halftime. Nebraska mounted what seemed to be the inevitable comeback in the third quarter. Taylor scoring on a 2-yard run after a Colorado fumble by Hatcher had set it up. It was 10-7, but then probably the death blow on the option pass. O.C. Oliver looked downfield, 52 yards to Lance Carl. It was 17-7 Colorado, and the defense made it stand up. 20-10, biggest win in many, many years for the Buffaloes, and a loss which may indeed have dimmed completely Nebraska's national championship hopes. Oklahoma shut out Iowa State 38-0, 492 yards total offense for the Sooners, 67 for Iowa State. First back-to-back shutouts for OU since 1967. Southern Cal got a very big win, 10-0 over Stanford, bringing the Trojans to 5-2 on the season, and Stanford did not penetrate past the USC 40-yard line in the first 3 quarters of play. Southern Cal got 115 yards from Gaston Green in the first half. Now maybe pulling away from Washington State. It's 33-16 in the third. Washington rolling over Oregon. Rich Brooks, the Oregon coach, was booed last week in Eugene during the loss to Stanford and was defiant this week, saying, if they don't like the job I'm doing, get me out of here. One man who was not wanted to be out of there is, of course, Husky coach Don James, having another great year. His team is going to move up to 6-1. Texas, 27-24 winner over SMU. Jeff Ward's 40-yard field goal with 16 seconds left the difference. In 29 wins during Ward's 4 years at Texas, his field goals have provided the winning margin in 13 of them. The winning field goal was set up by an interception at midfield. Baylor, a 28-17 win over TCU, 14th straight Southwest Conference loss for the Horned Frogs. Cody Carlson, the conference leader in total offense, had another big day, 16 of 25 in the air, 312 yards and 3 TDs. And Tony Jeffrey, the outstanding running back for TCU, was held to 34 yards and 13 carries. Texas A&M rolled to 6-1, a 45-10 winner over Rice. Kevin Murray, 17 of 34, 215 yards, and he became the all-time Southwest Conference leader with his 41st career touchdown pass. Clemson is going to fall to North Carolina State. In fact, it is now final. State beating Clemson for the 3rd time in the month of October in the last 10 years. Why is that significant? Clemson's only lost 5 games in the month of October in the last 10 years. Northwestern fell to Iowa 27-20, though they put up a terrific fight. Rick Bayless of Iowa, 33 carries, 183 yards. Maybe the difference in the game, though, Stanley Davenport of Northwestern had 150 yards rushing in the first half, injured in the second half, wound up with a total of 155 yards. Syracuse Temple, topsy-turvy game, won in a big upset by the Orange, 27-24. They came in 105th in the nation in rushing defense, and sure enough, the nation's rushing leader, Paul Palmer of Temple, 39 carries, 187 yards, and 2 TDs. Now, Temple has mounted a comic book campaign. You can see this comic book they put together to promote Palmer's Heisman Trophy candidacy. Today, their coach, Bruce Arians, made what may have been a comical decision in the first half when, with 4 chances to score from inside the Syracuse 5, he only gave the ball to Palmer once. They were stopped at the 1-yard line. Syracuse drove 99 yards and wound up with a 14-0 halftime lead. Then a safety. Then that Palmer touchdown run in the 3rd quarter, and it was 14-9. Then later, this 15-yard screen pass from Lee Saltz to Shelley Poole. And when Poole got into the end zone, it was all tied up. As with 4 minutes, 18 seconds to go, Arians, again questionably, chose to go for 1 instead of 2, giving Syracuse the time to work carefully back down the field. Temple never got the ball again, and as time ran out, Vessling kicked that 32-yard field goal to win it for Syracuse. Meanwhile, we are going right out now to Shea Stadium, where for the 2nd week in a row we have a chance to talk to the brilliant right fielder of the Red Sox, a man who's having another good World Series, Dwight Evans. And Dwight, I would assume that your team has to be in a tremendous frame of mind going into tonight's 6th game.
Well, we're confident, and you know, breaking up a little momentum that the Mets did have in Fenway Park. Certainly, it's no advantage to be in a home park. That's been obvious this World Series, but we have our big honcho going tonight, and we know that he's going to pitch his heart out and give us a great game. And we know that we have our work cut out for us also with Bobby Ojeda on the other side.
You weren't able to do much in the previous meeting with your former teammate, Bobby Ojeda, who is a great control pitcher. Would you expect that perhaps your guys will be a little more aggressive at the plate tonight, swing at some first balls?
I think that was our problem last time. We were over-aggressive because all he does is throw changeup. He's probably 80 to 85% changeups, and what we have to do is just back off. I myself fell right into his ball game. I tried to do too much with his ball, and what I'm going to try to do is just back off and just go for base hits, and I think that's what the team's going to do.
John McNamara appears to have done a brilliant job in setting up the pitching rotation for this game, but there would appear to be concern if you have to go to a 7th game tomorrow night. In the back of your mind at all?
Not at all. We're playing. We've done it all year long. We've gone one day at a time, and that's what we're doing tonight. And there's no reason to change. We're going to just stay the same and give it all that we have tonight.
Dwight, you're a gracious gentleman to join us 2 weeks in a row. We deeply appreciate it. Congratulations on what you've done in this World Series, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Jim. Nice talking with you.
Nice talking to you. Okay, Dwight Evans and the Red Sox once again will go against the Mets and try to wrap things up tonight. The Mets will try to stay alive, and today you saw Penn State beat Alabama 23-3, so the Nittany Lions will move up in the rankings, and the tide will drop down. Games tonight involving all of those ranked teams, and Miami, Florida is idle.
Fixing this water damage will cost $1,200.